Bro, I show you my jersey. Kwenda huko.
This I got sponsored.
I show you my jersey, bro.
Show us, nigga.
Let me show you, bro.
Acha naonyesha jersey ya maana. Acha nikam.
Usilete jersey ya Man U hapa.
Akileta jersey wala unamkick.
Bro, wajua mimi niko Man U, bro.
Get out.
Cheki, lakini niko Man U, lakini usiusikie lakini yangu. Usiusikize lakini yangu, lakini. Bro, mbona ninaleta hii? Sitaki stream yangu. I want to watch FNCS, my guy.
The tournament. And another slight change in what's going on early on. We got cold.
Bro, Akina click not die off spawn, please.
And I mean immediately. They're going right down in that, but Threats now getting pushed back a little bit here by Blake, and I think he's probably going to reset with only one build and not necessarily the best weaponry to dive in. Doesn't have a swap weapon, but that early auto shotgun is good, and they might be able to take something here, but instead just going to back off and try and get a couple more builds there. As actually throwing that one of his two wooden builds right there might put him in a tough spot.
Yeah, Rise is nowhere near him, so Threats has to be very, very careful with how long he lingers about. There it is, recognizing that it is time to go ahead and back on off. D-Gen is going to find walkers in the feed, so the high ground of Command Cavern already playing into effect here. Walkers actually lands on the eastern portion. That's the right side of the mountain of Command Cavern, the general outside facility, so must have been rotating out.
And one thing we've talked about, how the pace in the game will probably slightly shift. Now, there are still reboots around all the time, but we are already at, if Skittles gets confirmed here by Peterbot, we're already at the number we saw when third zone closed, and Peterbot looks like he's hunting for this.
This is a collider fight, guys. A team of Skittles and users, a team that is so exceptionally powerful once they get rolling here, going up against Peterbot and Bila, whom already have proven they are off to quite the start, now find themselves two great eliminations there.
As we're going to get a replay of how they went down. And one thing in particular when it comes to Peterbot, everyone knows him as one of the strongest individual solo players, having fantastic aim, as we've seen there. But when it comes to playing in team modes, he has struggled to find a duo. And I'll get back to that point in a second here, as Man and Stretch, they're under pressure for the second game in a row. Death and Tabney are taking it right to them.
And Death and Tabney are inside the top 10, so they made real good use of their time alive after the Cody Crossroads. Now, keep in mind, though, Stretch survived the last early game. They didn't get points out of it, though, so they were forced out of the drop and had to play for a pickup, but they couldn't make do with their time alive in the lobby. That's important, because now they're losing this fight again. So if they get fully eliminated, I mean, it's going to be a major setback here.
And this is a team who likes to play for consistency. They're not necessarily hey, we're going to go find a bunch of elimination, as Commitment drops down there, finding a nice little drop shot and going up. But notice how he invested 5 of his 8 builds to get that one shot, now down to 2. He's going to be forced to engage. He can't take a fight anymore. He's going to go double up with Stretch, but now one more build left. He has to create distance or he's gone.
He got caught off guard by Tabney, just leaving a wall open and no build. You can see the benefit of having those materials. You need them here, even especially
but you know, if something sucks, that's more semi, bro.
Stretch has to put up some counter defense here onto Death. It's enough to buy them some time, but for how long?
Only 3 more builds here onto Death, and he's immediately going to go over and say, nope, I'm going to chop down this tree. Not going to end up in the same situation as my opponents, and they're trying to isolate Commandment, and you can see Stretch desperately trying to work his way around and help him out.
He's going to get outside. Another fight on the edge of the screen here between Edgy and Acorn right now. A team that, of course, did not expect to be contested in this general open area. So the tower's starting to push in. Bila and Peterbot are the team that land at the collider here. Other teams are going south now. It's a fight that is going to continue to clash out. Tabletop and Golden are the team that takes that general area. So not enough loot there for 2. Back on over though. Death and Tabney, they push out, successfully push out.
I'm streaming.
Generally, they say you can always expect death and taxes, but right now you can expect Death and Tabney to be pushing these guys away from
good,
Coney
bro.
Crossroads. They're saying we're the consistent factor coming through. And as I immediately say that, Death loses the entirety of his extra shield.
0
so
points.
Need to be careful there.
I'm done.
And this is something I like to see
Bro.
out of Clix and Day. They're not waiting. They're trying to get on this
Tick,
hunting
tick,
effort.
tick, tick,
DeQuinton
tick,
is
tick,
completely alone. Day doesn't
my
miss the
God.
shots. 1, 2, 3.
my-
Lines up the headshot
Bro,
coming
they
through.
didn't hit
Not going
one.
to connect, but Clix gets a fantastic
Oh my
spray.
God, 1
There's
HP,
no
bro.
escape here. What do you do? You
Don't
drop
die,
down,
don't die.
you take the zip
You
line. No,
guys
Day's
die.
going to sit on top of that. Try and use the bullets, but again, taking chip damage from the side. Armored Wall going to buy him a little bit of time, but how
Bro,
long?
now it's
Great
time
use of the
in
Armored Wall
gear.
there to buy himself some time, but Day looking for that low ground
Yeah.
angle here, trying to find anything to expose this player. It's only a matter of time unless the duo gets here ASAP. But
Bro,
Clix
I'm done,
and Day
bro.
do not capitalize on the moment. His duo has arrived now, and things start to slow down. DeQuinton manages to crank his way out of
How?
one of the most just disgusting ambushes right there.
And you see how he immediately invested what I'm assuming is almost all of his hard maps.
Yeah.
There's not a ton to farm over here, and he's going straight up. And again, still taking chip damage from the side. If they can clean up that ability, this would make these fights so much easier for them. But honestly, in a lot of circumstances, they don't care because they're willing to push these guys, win the fight, and then take the extra loot, refreshing themselves. As we actually see our Game 1 winners getting knocked in the top left-hand corner of the feed by our second place FNCS finishers last season.
Been Spade, a team that you cannot let your guard down on, but back into the action here.
Bro,
Day and Clix,
kina Clix,
have they done enough here to finish this
aboting
fight? It
around,
does seem
bro.
like the team has fully reset, and this could be risking it all now. And that's the decision they have to weigh. They have to weigh their
have
position here
0.
in the tournament. Is this truly worth it right now? They didn't earn any points coming out of game 1.
And
This
Kinabuga
game
have
two, they're
58,
fresh
bro.
stab at what could be. As you can see there, Sphinx is in second with total elims at 5, so they have been playing pretty well today.
Yeah, we know who's in first above him. That was Miro with his
0
absurd performance in the last game. But I don't hate this because they know they got tags, and if they're able to rotate around these hoodoos and keep the positional advantage getting more central from this other team, based on where the zone is, it's going to
So
keep
sad,
likely
bro.
pulling center with some potential to end up going over the east.
Adi,
Right now, on the very edge of the
comments
zone, you can see
down,
Apollo
achana
Canyon.
naye.
Still this fight going on with Threats and Rise. But notice how
watu wengine, bro.
separate Threats is, and Blake and Lawrence could take advantage of it.
He is definitely risking it for the biscuit right now, being that far from his teammate. But Blake and Lawrence, they're okay with going ahead and
It's
balls
not
down. As
big,
you can
bro.
see,
We
Blake
were playing
does not
squads,
have
bro.
any real material
With
here to
the
stretch this battle out.
Kakashi.
This is what you have to assume is that re-engagement,
sweaty,
or
bro.
re-initiation
And
between the two.
squads,
Take a look
bro.
at Bam still, though, playing the mountain fronts here inside the bush, just trying to wait this one out. Looking
Like
for
ile
these
extra
daily
sweaty, my
teams who
guy.
do tend to come on out, build these big bases, and try to play for exchanges that are long range.
Didn't
Bam
katoka.
does not have Fatch alive right now, so already losing
Wallah.
his best mate in the
Wallahi
lobby.
billah.
Yeah, those Spade who ended up getting the early knock on that side. Don't forget they were able to win the first game, but as we talked about going into that first game, they're in third place, and that's because just the raw amount of eliminations that we saw on the other two teams with Peter
This
Bot,
guy is smart.
Viola,
You see, he's
and
waiting
Boga
for
and
like
Miro
the zone
going
to reach
through.
far,
We're
and
gonna
then sasa
swing
ndo
on
atoke
over
because
to
he knows
Pledge.
kuna watu wanamngojea.
Posted up just above Golden and Fable Taco. They're looking to replace all of these and get an edit down monster.
Yeah, definitely. You can see they're already starting to grab these walls. It's going to spell trouble for the teams up top, but notice they're also cautious, right? Backing up here, making sure, okay, let's not just let them edit on down. We'll be waiting for that one. And
Uliona
down they
Tifu
come,
akishinda
they
tournament
reinforce
jana
this Golden
ya
Power.
$100,000.
Recognize what's going on here. A little too much action happening down low. But Fable, Taco, and Golden are looking for the fight right now.
They want to take this fight. They're trying to get an engagement on
Hey,
here.
bro,
We
Tifu
can
is
anticipate
at
a slightly
least-
faster pace than we saw pretty much each game going until game 5 or 6.
Oh,
but
yeah.
not covering the backs is something we've
Yeah,
talked
Twitch
about
rivals.
over and over again. Teams are
Zero
posted
billion.
up super early looking
Eh,
for those
Nazemi,
opportunities.
bro.
And
Wallahi Zemi
whoever
ana
got those
hack.
tags, they're set on
Ana
third
cheat, I
now.
mean.
Over to the command cavern.
Wallahi.
Beats and bank here.
Hey,
In a
bro.
big
Like,
blast,
ana
but
spray
huge
him to
shot
a
from
miss
Elite there. He
shot.
shuts down Scare Bear from
Face to
teammates.
face.
Just like that, that duo is down and out. It's
Another
going to be
one.
one, but there's a fresh 2-pack sitting right around this general area. The wide shot will give us the big
Hey,
look.
bro,
but
Zemi
we'll
ni
look
cheater,
at Miro.
bro.
Nah, we saw
Nah,
that team
nah,
just right at the
act.
immediate instant they ended up getting Elam. The other team, Peace, they're like, hey, we got some room. We don't want
Yeah,
to
nah,
knock
you
down that
act,
fight.
bro.
Oh, yeah, they were out. And as you see, like you said, Miro
As
in
in,
first,
amezoea
with 7
hadi it's
eliminations.
normal.
We saw it in the last game. Reigning FNCS champ,
Atoka
I would
mwambia
say
nini.
100%
these
the
guys
best
are saying
controller
I'm
player
cheating.
in
I
the
don't know.
world. I would also argue that Dinka Casemiro right now is straight up the best competitive player in the world when it comes to playing in these tight lobbies and in these tough circumstances. And Pamsa right now is just looking for a
What is this,
lifeline.
guys?
Yeah, he's found something here to work with, some minis to go ahead and get him some
What is this?
shielding back
I've never
up, and then of
seen
course
this.
he wants to keep that harpoon though
And then
because he's
other
going to play
people
deep into the zone.
got
This will give him an
can't
opportunity to
control
play for the
Ati.
save here.
It happened on
that.
my screen as well.
Kit, little campfire as well, so
Hey,
a lot, right? A lot going in his favor. He has time.
So right now, if I'm Pamso and I know I'm hanging out and I know there's a med kit there, I would have waited the extra 10 seconds to pop this. He just ended up losing like 5 or 6 seconds in the zone as we actually see Spade going down.
Big elims right here. Jamper and Duke are that team just inside the safety of the zone. Pamsto's the one player to the south, and there it is. They ambush onto the solo there, and they actually pick it up. That's a knock. Why is he so far from his teammate is the real question. But looks like Chip now off to the side. He's just hiding out, trying to keep a low profile for Jamper and Duke. They inch their way to that top 10 after that elimination. And they're so comfortable above the surge right now. So they're A-okay to play for positioning here.
Yeah, and this is a team who prioritizes positioning so much. They're looking for high ground nearly every single game, and they want to control it. It's what made them so strong during the qualifiers. But right now, 1v1. Chimp versus Pamso on the opposite side of the Chimp definitely has the HP advantage, but in the top left-hand corner, hey, Clicks and Dare getting up on the horse as well. Chimp finds a huge shot on the back of Pamso. Will get the wall replaced to the backside, and he's immediately going to change the angle. He is hounding him.
Yeah, definitely on the push right now. Pam just inching his way out that zone. Shots start to come in, though, from the Daily Bugle, and Pamso gets hit once again. There's no breaks here, no rest on this side of the wall. Huge counter shot for Chip. He has to fight this one out. He knows the surge will be active here shortly. 70 damage below.
Great.
There it is. Great tags. Keep Chip in the game. 4 ticks up third.
But also noting, because Pamsa was only solo and so low on HP and shield test, see what I did there? Chimp is still below Storm Surge.
Definitely below here. 53, make that 68. That means the rest of the lobby is trying to find their tags. They're getting a bit active. It's too hot here. He has a lot of heals. Does he have time to actually pop them is the true question. Clarity and Slacks being one of the few on the side. Zamzo being others in the mix.
Might have been one of the circumstances where you want to use the natural slope of the bugle to slide back a little bit, break the line of sight, and get those heals off. Because he's got 4 seconds, so 25 damage every 5 seconds is coming through. We're going to swing on over. Aegis and Kanata, they're going to be underneath that threat right now. We talked about Storm Surge. Hey, we got 10 less players in the lobby than last time, so it's a little faster, but still, so many players. 7 duos going to be under threat. Aegis and Kanata being one of them.
It's the biggest issue that we saw from Scram and Hellfire in EU. It was Storm Surge, and now we're seeing it here. Problems unfolding for Kanata and Aegis. We did not expect this to happen at all. They are 130 below, having to use all of these additional heals right now. Kanata, what do you do? All those teams are so far from you. They have to launch pad in Sundown. They have decided we need to get in there. They answer the question. They need to get box to box here. I mean, that's where Kanata will perform best. But, oh my, big shots come in. They get a knock there. That is exactly what was needed.
No, Suscript is still up on his feet. I think, he's got like 3 HP on the opposite side of it. So not quite enough to get the knock, but it gets them above just barely as the speed lighting up. One Cobalt pick you up, and another return fire on the opposite side. To me, this says that Haji and Suscript, they're not safe either.
Yeah, definitely. All these teams starting to step in to take these fights. Joji and Rokain being one of the ones that get punished here as well. They want a piece of the cake. Can they get a big enough slice to fulfill them here in this game is the real question. But 81 above now. Things are going to slow down for a second, but they know they're not safe. They're not safe right now. They're not necessarily safe for later in the game, right? There's so much more riding on the line than just this. But they're going to go ahead and take this as a small win and back on out.
Definitely a less severe surge here. We talked about Sphinx being second eliminations coming into this game. He just ended up getting as we see Melito and Death also getting up.
Elite amemshinda Shadows.
Just one more dude to go down. Storm Surge turns off. First round of placement points given out. So if you're still up on your feet with 35 there, congratulations, you made it through the early game. Here's a point.
Cam putting some shots down.
Unamjua Shadows.
Play for dead center and what seems to be an airdrop there. Commandment stretched out once again. Shut down. This time to the hands of Buzz, who comes out of Command Cavern. Buzz and Avery, of course, the team that punched their way out of the semi-stages. Bucky now under pressure here. Fighting back with no help, though.
Well, I do not have anywhere near the amount of fortitude to open up a window where I've just been beamed with 15 HP. And Bucky does it like he's nothing. He's like, oh, you're running? I know you're not shooting at me. But looking over our current leaders, we see Peterbot all by his lonesome. And I have no idea where Violet is. I don't see him on the map. It looks like, oh, he's just inside that
Instagram account.
Okay, so
like,
slightly safe right now, but that still gives me a little bit of nervousness as we see Peterbot making sure, like, hey, I'm going to tunnel back over to it and then
like,
yeah, both sides really risking it. They're stepping out for, again, what is a play to get material and a little extra
fish, bro.
Ninja DMs Peterbot he buys himself a little more time. Definitely some more material to go ahead and bounce up. But you saw him fighting. You saw him take out Commandment and stretch there. And already you're seeing the wear and tear of sitting in that storm for so long.
That's so good by Muzz, recognizing the fact that he had just enough grid space to where he could sit right on the edge. Teammate crawls through because he's able to break the metal, and he picks it up, making sure he doesn't take any addition of that 5 ticks. I don't think they have any splashes to delay the pickup. This is Cobalt and Smacked underneath them, trying to push through. They are able to get the edit down, and that
my friend Amanda ice skating,
the amazing heads-up play Muzz just did, and now the OCE transplant is all by his lonesome.
Now Smacked and Cobalt pick up the loot, the material, and everything in between. They also recognize Muzz being a solo there on the side, and just like that, Muzz has to play this one out by himself. Still holding on to that top 5, though. Placement points have already been given out to the lobby. You can see N10 and D-Roller picking up their first one now this time around. So this game setting them up in the right direction here. Take a look at the zone sundown. It's going north now. A lot of teams still got to get a move on.
Yeah, very interesting zone, as we do have a ton of potential water in play when we get into the moving zones, because those islands can end up pulling it over. But right now, we're mainly over a landmass. One thing to talk about, though, is keeping an eye on which duos are still on their feet, which ones are going through. First and second are up, third and fourth down immediately. 8th place also down, so there's some room. If you didn't necessarily have the best first game, you can get yourself up onto that first stage. A decent performance here. Coming in from the one island over in play here, but Booga and Miro are trying to head for right in the middle. You don't necessarily want to be crossed around the outside and fourth zone unless you're overly stacked on builds. Was about the short skirts filtering in over and over. As right now, we got again somebody hanging out in the zone just accept with his very own supply of floppers, plenty of chug splashes. Unfortunately, he'll have to leave Boyle behind.
Definitely will have to leave him behind there, but got a lot of time to work with here on the backside of zone. I was just going to say, a little lady luck from Miro and Booga there. We didn't get tagged a single time. Take so many shots coming in.
Female anime.
On the side, though, edging Acorn, poised up for a high ground play. Except here, though, in the ultimate low, just struggling to hold on and maintain here. The next position that Except wants to get to here for him and his team is top 25.
We will have 5th zone reveal, half in, half out, occurring right now. And like I said, plenty of water in play. We're going over to everybody. Get your water wings on, or get your actual wings on, and take to the sky. As yet again, Storm Surge is causing problems for the energy duo, despite picking up the pair early on. We see Day go down to it, and bro. He has just enough time to end up full confirming.
I am done.
Didn't take the shield immediately. It takes 5 seconds to take it, so if you don't pop it before that first one comes through, unfortunately, sayonara, that's going to be it. We'll see you in the next game. As Roque and Threats also end up going down here. Storm Surge will turn off with a confirmation on the Threats.
What's exciting, though, I saw Bila and Peterbot still alive here, very, very strong. Although they are not in the safety of the new zone just yet, they are part of this Western pack that has to get a move on to the other side of the zone. Out comes the launchpad Agers and Kanata somehow they have been wrecked by Storm Surge. It's pretty clear. Oh, the shots come in from down low. The edit were quick from Blake and Lawrence, but it was not enough. Kanata and Agers have quite the fight to bounce back from. This is a huge opportunity. They already have 2. They fight a little more. And talk about a team that needed that so bad. But can they claim the loot? No. Nasen and Bryce sniped that all.
Such a heads-up play from Kanata to end up making sure he owned that, then edited out. There was absolutely nothing Buckingham can do. We can see real estate, beachfront real estate is real expensive right now. Everyone trying to pile in. If you're late rotating, I'm actually pretty impressed. Jackson Mason made an
It's been a gaming laptop.
The best real estate is going to go to
It's a
Peter Bot and
gaming
Violet. They'll
laptop
both ground,
ongeza.
front side, got you, and Elims to add to the entire mix here. The pot is looking real good. Miro, though, gets picked up by Smash. We've seen Miro punch up time and time again. What will Booga be able to do now that he's potentially lost his teammate here? But Peter Bot and Violet are still on the hunt right now. They're definitely looking all around. Booga playing for the safety pickup right now, but Edgy and Acorn are cracking open those builds. Yes, he does get the save. It's all due to those armored walls. So important to have those in endgame.
Being able to just slam those down and say, hey, you got 2k worth of damage. You
Kwanza
can pump
DJ na
in real
Yomzo
quick.
wako
And
karibu na
honestly, at this
okay.
case, with how high Storm Surge has
Yomzo,
been,
cheetah,
the answer is
Peter
more
bot
often than not
cheetah.
no. And another big thing when it comes to the loadouts is if you're
Does
carrying
anyone
that
here
scope
play
first
Free
rifle, you can't
Bro,
break
yeah.
on the armor wall. You literally
Good
don't
luck with
have
that.
enough bullets. It takes way too much time. They're going to end up rotating in and getting prime real estate.
It's going right back over the land. It's going to be a welcome sight for some on the distance. Though Booga finds one, finds two, have them up. That's a 6-point swing for a team that's already in the lead, and it's really starting to add up now. These are the placement points and the elims that they
Namshangaa
desperately
mwanangu.
need to hold and
Sijui high
maintain
school
that
yake
number one
sijui
spot.
bro.
But who will claim height?
Hebu
It's a
tuambie
little bit of a
kuhusu high
toss-up
school
right now.
yako
Not
Tibwe.
Angels, one of our few teams who will definitely play for height.
Bro, my high
6
school, bro.
elims now,
Eh,
sundown,
magamers
and
wako
they
vipi?
managed to find some refreshers. How in the world have they clawed
Bro,
their way
we
back
don't
so
talk
hard
about
into
gamers.
this game here? It was looking
Yeah,
impossible
Wale wako
for
ni
a
wa?
second there, but there's a new team
Ile
on
ya
height. It's hide and seek,
Dream-
and
sijui
Nets
Dream
Net,
Soccer.
Cold and Scented, however, are fighting their way into this top
Inaitwa
eight.
nini?
Clarity end up picking up
Mero
as
amekufa.
well. Cold ends up getting Miro, which means Booga is solo again, but we've seen with the World Cup
Hiyo Dream
championship.
League Soccer
This is
hiyo.
a huge elimination right here. Huge change of pace for Peter Bot as well. Who's playing solo.
Booga na
Booga
Mrez.
goes for the hit storm.
Oh my god, no way.
What? Oh no,
No
it wasn't
way.
enough.
That was never
Storm
going to
ni
end up
10
going
tick.
through. Luckily, some fish going off for Miro there when you're in the 10-tick zone. Sticking
Mero
a revive
amekufa.
is
Booga bado
almost
ako alive.
impossible. The Sphinx also almost
Lakini
going to go
ako
down. We do have
zone,
Storm Surge
bro.
turning on.
Anaweza
Nope,
dead.
just turns off. Duke's still up on his feet.
Bro,
Sentry's still up on his feet.
Patete
Yamzo running on the back of the zone, jumping, hopping,
Smack
trying to find a
amekufa.
little bit of space to get
Na
back to his
Roll
duo.
amekufa.
As we're going to swing on over to our
Booga is
current
still
lead.
alive bro. Huyu
How
jamaa
in the
ata
world
clutch
does
bro.
Booga manage to
Solo
survive
clutch.
that one? All those flashes came into big use here, and he is still up.
I bet
He's
you
pumping his
50
way through.
subs.
70
Would only,
effective
though.
HP to work with here. Only wood. Looking for a refresher. Glace is down to the side there. Cold is going to fall. Oh my gosh. Scented is down as well. Edgy falls inside the storm too. So big names already folding. It's going to start opening up the standings here. Degen and Iamzo though playing for high ground. Looking good right now. They actually managed to retake it here. Just a couple builds in the works though. Ager finally goes down after what was a play worth house money there. But Peter Bot is still in the game.
We talk about the
snowflakes.
individual efforts. Booga goes down, but inside the top 10, Peter Bot says, yoink, give me that first place, as he's going to about face. And this is what I talked about. The individual efforts from this player is gross. We talk about individual efforts. Clarity G
Discord yangu ni-
slapping down players. He gets Duke, he gets Booga, he gets Degen as well, putting the G in Clarity G as Nick ends up picking up his partner.
It's a high ground fight though. Yamza has to give it up. He doesn't have mats. Clarity and Slacks go on up to the top here. Very little to work with, but the high ground is just that important. Into the top 10 we are. He also finds one. Down goes Acorn. Bye-bye, buddy. It's a two-man
Acorn GG's,
fiesta
bro.
in front of them, and they get cracked there. But Peter Bot is still fighting in the game. He finds
Another
two more, and just like that, it's a full team wipe.
No
There's
shot.
no way you do this one as well, Peter Bot. We know you're
This
great,
guy's
but
clutching,
how
bro.
great are you when it comes down to the final moments? On the front side, Donnie and Macwood, all of the Daily Bugle are alive here, jumping their way
Bugalisha
back
dead.
in. Oh, Peter Bot has more in
Bro,
the tank.
jamaa na solo
Down
clutch,
goes
bro.
Lawrence.
What?
He has shut down at least 3 duos in this end game by himself.
And just doing it with the strong weaponry. And right now, the
Ah,
other
doesn't
dudes are
he
fighting
want
off.
me to-
He might just push himself individually into a
Ay,
top
ay,
2.
ay.
Peter Bot forced
GG's.
into the zone now.
Shaded.
2v1. Slacks and Clarity looking to put their stamp on it here.
Donnie,
As Donnie is just
creative
buying as much
warrior.
time. He's got the points he needs, but you are just sprinting uphill. And no, actually, he's going to take it away.
Oh my
One more
God.
shot will do it, but the young lad is going
GG's.
for it. Unfortunately, Slacks and Clarity will
Christ,
take
unamjua
that one
Donnie.
away from him. A good effort, but man, Clarity and Slacks look good there, and they were knocking out all the people they needed to knock out if they want to push themselves
Hey,
up
amjua
the
Donnie.
leader.
And a hero's effort from Donnie and Macwood out of that drop spot to stay alive here. Bounce back in game number 2, but Clarity G and Slacks managed to do
bro.
enough there. A 7-elimination victory
Kuja
royale
uone,
will
acheni
punch
tume.
them out of
Joe
game
Mama.
2, pick
Umetuma
their
wapi?
first win here in the finals, and that's a great way to
Acheni
kick
tume,
things off.
tulia.
But
Tuma
let's
pa
talk
Discord.
about Peter Bot for a second. What a game the young lad managed to pull off.
I mean, it's nuts, and it continues to be the story of NA East, where hey, you got height, you ride it out in the end game, you look pretty good, but the individual efforts and all the points are going over to those solos.
Yeah, definitely. Those were big plays, even huge plays for the standings. We're going to send on over to the boys. They'll crunch the numbers for us, guys.
Peterbot, you absolute monster. That was something else. We saw Mirror's performance in game one. But Peterbot raises the ante to Peterbot. That was something else. Darren Slacks, though, great win. I mean, we've had that in previous competition, part of the competition now. And we see them get the victory out. 7 eliminations there as well. SBG, fantastic from these guys, getting that high ground and making sure they get their victory royale.
They used every little piece they had to take that high ground. You even see them have to jump down.
Saizi ndo umefika hapo bro, ishaisha bro. Imagine he almost did it lakini.
Lakini ni mjinga, hiyo ni decision mbaya. Anajua Storm ni dangerous. Hakuna haja kuongea.
Oh my god, I'm choking on that. Oh.
Clarity and Slifer there, as you can see, making a play on the Duke. They find the elimination on the back foot of that refresh. They immediately contest Yamzo and Degen on the high ground, who unfortunately at the time had almost to none match.
Bro, our commentators wamechaguliwa na bow.
At that point, they ride it out, but amazing to see.
So unadai kwa commentator.
Second place that game as well from the
wangeka Sundown, wangeka yule jamaa mwingine wa madevu. Tunamjua.
Anaitwaje Karen?
Hapana, kuna yule mwingine ana commentating.
What is happening right now? I mean,
Simona
in finals, you know, when one of your teammates goes down, you have to clutch up and get as far as you can, standing points-wise. And not only that, but Peterbot managed to get 6 eliminations as well. I mean, SBG, fantastic from Peterbot. We're used to seeing him do well, but this is just...
Achana na usi antics. Mi naona wanapo.
East is 2 games in and thank you. Just thank you to the players for what we've seen. Just
Peterbot ni beast bro. Unakumbuka ile solo clutch ya FNCS ya last season?
Trying to make big solo plays, but he's able to sustain his HP.
Tibana alifanya nini?
Man, you gotta love this.
It's so good. Landing at that southeast side of the collider, right? Picking up Dr. Sloan very, very early on. Really set them up. But here we go. Great performance. First place with 102 points.
After 2 games, though, there's SPG, 102 points, 16 eliminations after 2 games. You can see here as well, with the standings, as well as you have next to that, the arrows up and down, seeing where they've moved up and down the leaderboard. They've go 8 places as well. I mean, SPG, we're seeing now, we've got ourselves some big numbers. Those top 3 teams with double-digit eliminations.
Yeah, that's huge.
Hata bei ya soda bro.
A lot of these points that are separating them from everyone else, it's all
Na trust. I believe in it bro.
I don't know how Degen and Yamzo are up there in 4th place with only 4 elims, but that shows the consistency, that shows the placement and their play style. Shout out to
Chekia wa number 4, wako na 4 elims
within that end game and going all the way up the leaderboard after that.
Level 6 naweza ingia FNCS bro, hata si lazima tuwe mtu.
Yeah, listen, you mentioned like how are Degen and Yamzo up there, right, in 4th place. Well, look at it. They have 55 points. But then Peterbot and Viola are almost 50 points ahead of them in 1st place, right? That gap.
Tunaingia hilo bro.
Lazima ufike Champs.
Champs ni rahisi bro. Kama timu yamefika Champs, mbona mimi nisifike bro?
Uko 60 ping au watu wako 0.
Ati niko 60 ping bro. Mimi niko 30 ping bro, unasema?
Ping is just a number bro.
Nimwambie bana, just a number bro.
Not all the time.
Ukimsikiza Tibo ya retarded.
Right off the start. This is our collider.
Ping is just a number.
And we can clearly see it just
a number.
Tumia bundles something is just a number.
I mean, it's really starting to shake things up, I think, and starting to make this look like a very exciting competition. I mean,
oh my god,
obviously,
my throat, there's something in my throat, bro.
And I'm seeing as well here that when we start to get to a position where it's, we get to a position where we see our big teams knowing that everything pressure-wise is on here. We mentioned consistency early on. Is if you do go down early on, you need to get your teammate over the line and into zone as well. Game 3. I mean, there's a lot on here. I mean, we saw
jevaney
there as well go down.
so now they qualify FNCS.
They had a great game on.
Miro went down early, but again, solo clutches. Buga actually got into the top 10, but actually something that I like about actually picked up some early eliminations on Quanti and Larson in game 2 there. So
and with all of the IO guards you have to fight them. They don't just disappear. And when you get distracted, it can be easily shot at by other players. That likely was what was going to happen. Now, Fortress ain't looking so pretty anymore.
We have ourselves a game 3, which is very, very imminent indeed. I think we are going to be heading over and seeing a lot of action
and then like you just fly there.
Battle bus is ready to rock. Sundown MDF bringing us all of this. It's the halfway point after game 3. Let's dive on it and see what happens next.
Ati grenade.
Yes, bana grenade.
Are you not entertained? What more could you ask for out of the first?
Bro, acha kushuta bro. Aibu bro. Bro, iko wapi bro? Mbona siwaoni? Hata hawajui. Oh my god, bro, there's something in my mouth, bro.
All together, and right now,
It's a big delicious, but low.
Well, they really did well. And also, just shout out to Kanat and Agers maintaining composure. They were down and out, no builds approaching that end game, and then he managed to pull something exceptional. Game 3 is here, though. There's no time to waste. Let's jump on the battle bus. Let's see how fortune will favor the players this time around. We saw what game 2 was. It was a left to right.
Bro, imagine huyu jamaa na lag bro, alafu akinyua anasema
a little
mediclip
different
bro.
flavor here, kind of taking right now.
But we're also very far south again, so it's going to make that run for the north, the glide for the north teams very tough. And for
Me just play the game for fun, bro. Me not lag, bro. I just play for fun, bro. This guy is killing me, bro.
Pretty hard heading it.
Yeah, definitely. For
And he's clipping me, bro.
35-point
And you
jump up for
bitch.
them.
And you
Really putting themselves right back into the tournament. A 36
Yo,
top
jevaney.
for Lawrence and Blake there. We knew this is a team that was again getting this big contested drop spot from Common
Fix na
They make an end game out of that. That
Raisi,
was
bro.
impressive across the board as Rise will
Beach
find Blake
has
this time
strong.
around. He doesn't even
Hawezi
come
shinda.
down safely.
Wanashinda bro. Si nimesema comeback ndio hiyo.
Off in the distance, what just happened?
Wacha
They're able to put the shots down over there, trying to close the gap here, but Lawrence goes hip to hip here, trying to utilize that Ranger and just get in there, but I
Ashindi,
mean,
I
honestly,
swear
if you ask
Ashindi.
me to hit fire
To
this
bet.
weapon, I'm going to hit a shot. Lawrence on the opposite side of it, though, he's trying to put in the look, trying to get
It is Miro.
He should be good, but like you were talking about the harassment coming in from the side.
And that's why the zone play section is
Buga
important.
akikosa kushinda, wanapea 20 bob. Akishinda,
Because the way the
nakupea
battle
20 bob.
bus played out, it allowed Miro to touchdown first, and then get those eliminations early, which allows Lawrence to actually ultimately clutch up his drop spot here at the Condo Candy.
Una 10
They're
bob
actually
bro.
going to get 6 points from that because Blake is one so now there's
Like, I
potential.
saw
They
it.
should-
Amekuwa 1 point
Quanti's
bro.
back. He's here to play, using the Manta mechanics to hop on over and just give him a face full of
Hauna
lead.
10 bob.
I mean, you know me,
Tendo
I
bado
love
sasa.
talking. I
Sasa bora
am
unakataa
never
boss.
speechless, but
Zi,
that
kani kutumiaje?
just- I had to stop
Makes
for a
sense.
second.
Pesa, bro.
Vandal into the immediate shot, dropping him down there and then making sure he's beating up the Larson. That's what they're going to need to get this ball rolling. Don't forget, we got 12 games. There's still a long finals going through
Bro,
here.
what?
Now we're going to swing on over to Sleepy South.
This is
Bruh.
not a safe drop by any means.
No.
Can't
Nenda
push back
shule.
with the team off in the distance while within the top 10, playing very, very well here so far to kick things off. But Slacks and Claire DG, second
learned?
place now, contested drop spot. We saw what happened in game 1, game 2. They actually allowed Bizzo and Diego to jump back in and play their game out. It worked out.
Ati sasa mnasema
Right, they earned some points.
Sasa
This time,
Ujui M-Pesa, bro.
Clarity G, if they can get 6, they jump on
Jakate M-Pesa as in sasa tembo baje
He knows he's aware of it. He's communicating that to Clarity G right away. He's trying to come
It
around
makes
and
sense.
find an angle. You can see it
Kivipi?
on the map. It's that
Situna bet.
little tan
Angusha
circle
zao.
there in the house.
1,000.
Knows he doesn't
Wana
want to
pesa
overcommit.
kidogo.
1,000,
This
yeah.
one Diego push out.
Huh?
That's something
Wana
that
pesa
comes
kidogo.
dropping at a new spot, finding the angles,
Wana
and knowing
pesa
how to
kidogo.
actually properly take this 2v1 is
The
really
1,000, one of
That's
the
actually a
1,000.
huge find, though. Just
1,000,
SMG
that's
right
a
there
little
really
money, bro.
optimizes his mid or his
You're abusing me, bro.
Put the AR down for now.
Why are you so
That's
toxic?
not great for mid game or end game, but hey, for early game, that SMG is going to be
Bro, you're so toxic,
a little
bro.
more
South,
confidence
bro.
for Clarity G.
South,
Slacks now
bro.
is
You're so
sizing up.
broke,
Also
bro.
notice he has the brick reservoir.
You say you can't
That
you
allows
can't
him to
bet.
capitalize really quickly. So already they have a very healthy amount of material. It is not looking too hot for Bizzle. Down low and Diego on the outskirts. Camstone Thatcher looking on. Here comes the fight though. Things are going to start breaking out.
Bro,
Bizzle
people
back
ndo
against the
wananyamaza.
wall
Cheki,
here.
bro.
Sasa
Kama
sasa
tembo
tibu
bwezi,
anaongea.
bro.
Starting to lose
We watch
control.
stream, bro.
Tibu
Sawa.
amenyamaza.
Bro,
Be careful.
let's do one
trying not to get back into a corner because
You know,
that's
Tibo is
exactly
richer
what
than
he
us,
wants.
bro.
He's able to
Combined.
dictate the rest of the fight. It's really difficult, but look how
Ati ngoja
much
Tibu umesema.
Tibo anajua M-Pesa, wewe hujui M-Pesa.
in the walls. They want
Free
as many
Fire-
points,
Free
they want
Fire.
as many layers
Tibo
to them and Clarity
anacheza
and Slacks as
hiyo game
possible.
yake
Because,
inaitwa
like I
nini?
said, Clarity this
Ati
season
free-
has been good, man.
Now you can just tell he's playing smart. He's slow, steady,
Hiyo game ya
methodical.
Tibo
He's
inaitwa
taking
nini?
these balls here, even going
Bro,
as
why
far
are you
as trying to
making
beat
it
Diego
sound
out from the
like-
side box there. He jumped in and said, hey, let's take that hit. He's not allowing himself to get punished here.
No,
Very
bro.
smart, very high level
Hey,
play,
bro,
guys, from our
bro,
professional
bro,
players right now.
but-
Sleepy Sounds fight is drawing a lot of attention, though. Those southern teams now starting to edge their way on up, just looking on in, trying to see what's going on the other side.
And
Tibo
one of the
is
things
mseme,
that's
bro.
beneficial for almost all the duos is
What?
we haven't had
Game
too
yako inaitwa?
ridiculous of first pulls on the zones. Everything has been relatively
Pretty
simple.
fast.
We're not going to get pulled all the way to the one side of the map, so kind of lets these fights play out a little bit. But as we
And
see some of the shots
on
coming
and
from
on.
distance, we're going to swing on over the cavern.
Bro,
We saw
Maz is
that
contested.
Avery's already been taken down, but Maz is still off on his feet, so he's one of the 3 solo riders who's still around. It was Walkers who picked up the
Bro, I'm pissed, bro.
Walkers and Scare Bear,
Funny.
man,
I have a
managed to jump
PC
in that
still.
last game, go ahead and put
Do
some
you have a
points on the
PC?
board for them.
Yeah, your PC.
Again, a team that has just been
Yeah,
making
but
their
guess
appearances,
what's
continue to
its
pop up
process?
and show up. Command
I
Cavern
guess
is
what?
no easy drop. You have players like Elite,
Guess it's
Fate,
process.
Muzz, Age,
Specs yake.
the high ground of
Process
Dijon
yake.
Niamzo, right? Looking down and
Yeah.
always
I9.
tempting you to go out and peek so they can burn you
Bro,
from
you
the skies
dumb
above.
fool. My-
So there's
my
a
shit's
lot
on
of
I5.
in here. What am I saying?
I5.
Of sensory overload can kick in here.
I3.
With
My
how
shit is
many
on
teams
Pentium,
are in this
bro. What
general
are you saying?
area.
At his
I
own?
forgot to
Huh?
include Nico and Polarize, right? So you can
Is that
see
what?
The shit
just
is
a
on
little too
Pentium.
many hands
Pentium.
in the
Here.
pop.
Pentium ni
Yeah,
nini?
the shit
don't necessarily want to
19
end
something
up in
something.
that situation, but as
Oh.
we've seen, Command Cavern, it's been pretty strong here.
Father.
Like
Like
it's a nice little quick stat in the top right. Peter
Oh,
Box
asa.
has more elims
Asa.
by himself, 10,
Yeah,
than
bro.
all but
Yeah, bro.
2 other teams have in total. My question would be, who
Fuck
do you
you,
think those
bitch.
2 teams are, Monster? I know, Booga and Miro is one of them.
I mean, all of our teams up at the top, Chip and Spade might be up there
bro,
as well.
sijakwambia,
They're
bro.
definitely the
Azeni
ones
nimetextiwa
leading
na
with
Gabe, bro.
elims. They've been popping off. They have those solo pop-offs. None like
I
Peter
know
Box,
you
though.
like
Peter Box
it.
definitely put up some incredible numbers. But look, he didn't actually
Sikiza,
overrun
bro.
the collab
Walai.
this time to actually
Hii
play
ni
a little bit
serious,
safer.
bro,
So,
mazee.
you know, we do tend to see when teams
Wale
are in the lead
nilishtuka, bro.
change up their playstyle, it backfires. So I'm a little
I
bit,
swear.
worried for them not
Now
being
with
as
the break
And then-
and then
wasikia.
Ends up playing into the
Skia,
first
skia,
phase
bro.
because when we talk
His-
about
his
pacing up
Instagram
the map
was,
and with this
"Come
slightly more
feel me."
centered zone, we've slowed down a little bit. Only one full duo has ended up being eliminated. We do still have 2
I
solo
swear,
riders
bro,
out
I'm
there
not
with
capping,
one
bro.
of the reboots coming through.
Aya,
So
day
there's
na
a little
clicks
bit of
camera on
action.
them.
There's a second reboot coming through, so only a single solo rider out there. I was about to say the other one Slacks and Clarity G because we've been
Bro, you're not
seeing
right.
Clarity G just
Skiza,
pushing the
skiza,
pedal
bro.
to the metal. But I mean, Slacks keeping pace with them too. He's
You know,
right
yesterday, bro.
Great point there. Clicks and Day, though, try to do that ambush play. They try to slide
That's
into that
broken,
fight
bro.
there. Over in the desert does not work
They na
out. They
clicks-
force
na
them back
clicks
out.
mashini
What's
stuff.
important though is
Wanashinda,
they get
bro.
their hands dirty. They get some
Open
tags.
number
They put their
26.
numbers
Kuja
on the
uone wana
board,
W key.
score up. Now they make their way on over.
Aight,
Try to get some
tuone.
launch pads here. Let's see if they have enough room to go on and make these exchanges.
Eh,
Back
check
over
you
to Command
vile
Cavern,
kuko
though.
packed,
The
guy.
battle basically continues to rage on here from Muzz and Avery. Now being down, Muzz has to play this one out with the hero's effort on his own. We know there's
Muzz anaweza
there's
clutch.
options when it comes to playing for the
Yeah,
pickup.
Maz
But this
tena
many
ni good
teams have
mwingine.
Command Cavern. It's not looking too hot as the zone is somewhat favored.
Uliona vile anakaa anakaa T-boy.
If you are just
Bro, huo jamaa ako fat.
closing in on the halfway point here of day one to the quarter point overall of the NA.
Yake ni exceedingly fat bro. Wow.
FNCS finals, whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, watch.fortnite.com, or in the game in Legends Landing. Hey,
And he's richer than us, bro.
right now, if you're in chat,
I've covered to a plug of Fortnite actually order McDonald's.
fantastic.
Now
Bro,
Here in the Toronto area.
Now that Chipotle.
Positioning up,
Bro, you say I was on his stream, he was like, did they eat anything today?
We've seen so many successful playthroughs of any of the teams that decide to claim
Like,
the
did they eat anything
peakmost
today?
area of the command cavern. It just feels like a
didn't.
different
Snap on me,
game for
Kulani.
them, and already. Again,
It's unreal, bro. Burgers.
not only a great loadout, but a great storm surge tag for the most part. That is one of the benefits of having the peak.
Kuna saa niliandika kwa Twitch yake akule salad.
Yeah.
Nilisema hapo eat salad.
We only have 6
Bro,
duos in there. A couple more who are too
bro,
everyone's on the northern side is going to get going, and Polo actually
Bruh,
getting
it
on
makes
board.
sense.
Polo has shown you one of
You know,
the
Jevaney will
first-
feel
or
bad,
one of the
bro.
few first timers here in the finals.
Jevaney ako
I don't want to say
Jevaney ako
explosive because
perfect
it was
shape.
kind of a
Nini?
build up there where they had a couple of qualifiers.
Apart from
Once
Jevaney
they
being a
got
virgin,
finals,
in perfect
these
shape.
guys were able to go up
Lakini kuna
against
jamaa
the
anaitwa
best
Maz.
duos and enemies and really take
Bro,
the fight
Maz.
to him. But right now, somebody's got the
Unajua sitaki Maz.
Not looking good right now for Clarity and Slacks. Looks like they were pushed out the zone. They're getting rolled
Eh?
out really quickly. Bizzle.
Unajua ile mimi ile ya yule
Outside of the
dem
storm. Looking to get a
pat
little bit of
alafu
revenge right now.
ameletewa baga na
SMG
chips
on the
hapa
other side of the
akasema
fire here.
they
Gotta
didn't
be
put my
careful. Some
salad.
big damage, high fire rate weapon that can straight through you. Before you even notice, you lose a wall. It's not looking good for Diego and Bizzle here as the shot
joking,
starts
bro.
to fire
And
on
you-
through. Clarity against Slacks, man, trying to pick up a quick six here. They find Diego. Can they get the rest? Of course
Gaya
they
watu
can.
wameuliwa
And just like
vibaya,
that, they
okay?
edge their way up. Yeah, hit the dance, Diego.
Kama
You
noobs.
definitely
Wameuliwa
deserve
kama
it.
noobs.
Sorry, Clarity G there as they
Playing
start to
Free
rack
Fire,
up.
bro.
And they're in second place
Free
now
Fire.
off of those elims. So a huge swing already.
And I talked about it at the top of the show. Honestly,
But then, you know,
I'm feeling
Ronaldo is
a
in
little
Free Fire.
not intelligent for second guessing myself. As I'll get onto that point as I want to talk about Shoni and Polo again. They've
I'm
been
grinding
fighting
to
incredibly well. Going to utilize the chug spots to try and just keep his teammate up here, but he wants the wall to wall with Austin. You can see he's trying to be cognizant of that edit coming through. Doesn't quite get the wall replaced. And
Raise your teammate. What are you doing, bro?
He's actually able to wall him off. And he's going to back off, slam down the armored wall, and say, no, you come to me.
Tony and Polo, solid
Unbelievable.
players. You can see that they've been holding their own this time around, though.
GG's
Bested by
only.
Nawson and Bryce. So there will be a
Who've
pickup
been very
play
good,
there.
too.
Also, great players. But what's cool about Shoni and Polo is how well we've seen them play throughout the course of the weeks. Obviously, those semi-weeks, those lead-ups in the qualifiers, putting a spotlight on this new duo now popping off here. And also, they changed draw spots. They were in Greasy Grove before. They mixed up. They say, you know what? Tournament means a lot to us, especially the finals. Let's play somewhere else. And they try their hand elsewhere. And they've been
Free Fire, can you hear us?
Cole is going to find Avery, though. Big knock right there. Avery is inside the top 10.
Jevaney, we
But that was after
are
we had already seen Avery
able
going down.
to communicate.
Bro, si nilikwambia we ni bot. Get vile no.
necessarily having as many shields or resources to be able to utilize. We're going to take a peek. Our current position on the left-hand side of the over surge. But right
Bro,
now, my
I'm done.
prediction is sitting in 6th place. Jamper and Duke.
Bro,
they're
yeah,
90
yeah.
below,
Nilipata
and
site.
they're not the only ones.
Ukiweka
We're likely
YouTube
gonna
link
have
ya
10
video
other
yoyote,
duos,
you can
or
download
9
it.
other duos who are also under pressure, and probably 1 or 2 of the solos who are running around.
I'm also curious about my pick.
That
Not
downloaded
Avery. They were at
those
Greasy
memes,
Grove, one of the
ile,
only teams over there in the zone was on that drop.
guy
They didn't
don't
play
miss.
well in the zone, went their way the last time, finding it hard to find their surge tags. For Jamper and Duke, it seems like this zone also being
Umojile
unfavorable for them right now.
video
But
ya Nico
they are still in the
Omilana.
game here, still plenty of time to start playing for tags. Lots of teams in the general area. As we
Nico
hop on over here,
Omilana.
this is a
Ile I told
hot
the
pocket of Slacks
most
and Clarity
racist
G.
man
They've been
in
having a
America.
struggle here on the edge of the zone. The
Nope.
first time they were almost down and out, but they find Bizzle. They
kuna
find
mtext
Diego.
Discord,
It
bro.
manages to keep
Acha
them in the
niangalie
tournament,
nani.
but now being held out by other teams. in this
Maz,
area.
oh my.
They find smacked. So this is a big
Bro,
exchange
let's
happening here.
leave
Quickly
it,
still up as well. This time, no
Ako
surge.
PSG, bro.
So,
I love that. Cones him off, just blasts him with all the arsenal that he could find there and comes down.
see, that's one of the
Clicks
things
and
I
a
think
clutch,
puts
bro. Already
Steve
wana elimu,
almost
bro.
any other player
Wanashinda hii game.
If he gets a timing and he knows he can go, he will capitalize on it really better than anybody else in the region,
bro.
arguably.
You
It's
know,
that lack of hesitation.
Oh, yeah.
Best of the best.
It's a double-edged sword, right?
On over to Aviv. And Gold is actually down right now. So our 7th place team facing struggles of their own. Not only does he have a man down, but he has Surge to worry about here. He's one damage low. Things are really going to start getting active now. So
Sikia baridi, sijui tuende kitandani.
clock is ticking.
Not going to stop ticking anytime soon here. So we still have 85 players up.
Zebro, say I want to go to bed.
Oh, great exchanges there. A headshot. Picks
I
that
said
one
you
up
want me
too.
to
So
go
that's
to bed,
about
bro.
125 pickup. In the
That's
feed,
kinda
though,
sus,
Burt is
bro.
down. Jackson is down. V finds another headshot. Talk about
Cam is dead. GG, Steed is dead. Aye, Commandment is dead. No way.
Tries to go for that little exchange
Ay,
again.
ay, ay,
and
ay, ay,
Jones
ay.
gets hit with a double burst in the
Yo,
exchange. And 8 plays
Huh?
down and
Huh?
out.
And it was right after
I tell you the next winner. I mean, the next FNCS winner. I swear Ino.
Bro,
I swear.
Ino is washed,
Yo.
bro. What are you saying?
He has to go when he has to fight. 29 damage per wall. With only 74 HP. Any solid shot from the shotgun will hit him. I mean, Fishy and Kaz, they will get the pressure on.
And you can hear
Yeah,
it's
it
auto
was fast,
shotgun
it
on the
was
side of that wall, so it's going to do a
Oh,
lot of
unamaanisha
damage.
innocent wa Kenya. Hamna kitu unasema
Surge will turn off
kwa
here, but
ene
once again,
East.
Kanata and
I don't know,
Icers
yo.
have managed
Who are
to
Kenya?
struggle with their
Yeah,
you're the true, bro.
Fishy and Kaz, the windmill team that lands
Ujamaa.
so close to them,
Grind
has
yake.
really been giving them a problem.
We
And
believe.
you can see that it has not been an easy turnaround for them to get this elimination time and time again.
Pale Pubs.
That needs to bounce back here and rotate right now.
Surge 70 players, 69 now with 36 duos remaining, so one more.
Bro, why you toxic lakini?
Before we have that first place.
There's this guy
Bro,
in our Discord.
I'm making
Wasikia?
sense. I'm talking.
KO is hurt. Like
I'm talking sense.
It's a team that
Eh, Stretch amekufa na
against the Storm Surge. They did
Saj.
not play too well for them as they don't have any additional heals to play with
Surge,
here.
crazy Surge.
But
Saj,
everyone's
bro, ya
more
Storm,
focused on
bro.
the rotate. Everyone is
the
focused on
fuck up,
playing it
bitch.
slow and steady.
Bro,
Bro, acha uprefire, bro. Game inafundisha nini?
This is actually Donnie and Mac with there, right behind them.
Slacks and Clarity G, they were
Wasikia, bro.
way out.
Kuna
in
huyu
the
jamaa
zone and
Discord
finding kind of
server
on that northern
hii
side,
yetu.
and yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Back to
Anapost
Clarity G.
IG.
He's under pressure
Akiwa
himself.
mtu na
Shots
fall
coming in
damage.
on the back, and if one of our
Then
top teams
I-
ends up going down, there is room at the top of the leaderboard. So
Na
far,
huwa
we have
mtu
seen
na
our
fall
top three.
damage,
They've been
box
pretty
fight zonos,
consistent, making the
alafu
back-to-back top
aka
10s
clip.
and adding an Elam. However, the second
Yaani,
falter has when you get that little and
I
there's
swear naweza
one
kuwa
more
toxic
room at the top
kwake
of the
sahi
leaderboard,
sahi. Nani?
especially with
Bro, it was
9
funny,
games to
bro.
go
What?
after this one.
Yep.
Full
Slacks is down
damage.
then.
And then sasa akeka na music. So it's even funnier, bro. Ati tena anashutu mtu down.
No, it's not going to be enough here. Back into the old build you go. 3 just to work with. I mean, it does look like it's only a matter of time.
Kinetics are winning this match.
Celeste TK play if I turn this one around here.
Nah.
They go. They're on the hunt now.
Wajua ubaya wao, kila mtu anataka kufanya solo plays.
He needs to be careful there because you can see the
Joe.
other team who's right next to him is looking for this KO ledge, but all of a sudden they're under pressure.
Wangekuwa wajanja.
Slip the shot in there.
Wangekuwa
Second
wajanja kama
falls.
si kama day
Rogan got
pump
that.
yake
Right now,
hit max
starting to
damage.
get active here. Way to bounce back.
Eh,
in the
si ndo maana
tournament
huwa
after a
Clicks
rough game one and an
ana
early takedown at the Pony.
IGL alafu Day ana frag
This is
anabakia
looking really,
nyuma,
really good for
lakini
Blake and
sasa
Lawrence. Like we said
kwa vile
before, you let
Day sasa
Blake and
anataka
Lawrence get
kufanya
into
like
endgame
too
and it's gonna be
many
a problem.
No,
This is a team that's
frags,
really
man,
built
like
and will play for height.
too
That
much,
is
bro.
Wants the smoke.
massive investment of metal.
Yeah,
I'm hoping they're sitting on another repository, or that they're really valuing this power position because
At least saizi hawatakufa na Saju. Mbona wamepata high ground ama watch stream. Acha tu.
And I'm not necessarily
Simi na
sure
watch.
that's a barrier or hope.
Bro,
This is looking
Hadi
great.
jamaa
One touch
FSTK.
splashes for
Eh,
Ianzo.
ni good.
He's got
Eh,
6
TK ni
himself,
good,
so
yeah.
18
Aim
collectively
yake.
for the duo.
Bro.
Launchpad and
I wish
Blake,
ningekuwa na
3
aim
armored
ka
walls
hiyo.
as well. Where did they get all this loot? Man Cavern is usually
Kina
pretty
Clicks
good. My
wanashinda, bro.
gosh, this game might just be theirs just based off of
Tuombe wapate
the luck they
zone.
picked up. Clicks and Dave actually managed to
Akipata next
maintain
zone,
a
they're
strong
chilling.
position here though. For the first time today, so far,
Bado
game
wako nayo.
this halfway, this pivotal moment in the tournament, they have a great position here on the lobby.
But we should get a warning on Surge, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. Where are they on the threshold? So we'll get the
33
first
below,
little
no way.
blip, and that's actually the true. No, like I said, the first blip generally tells
At
you how
least,
far
no.
the lowest team is below. So the only 33
Eh, Day
below
amekuwa
that
headshot
tells you
sniped,
that
bro.
these duos
Close.
are right on top of each other. This number's going to
Telling you.
ping pong back and forth.
I'm telling
Your
you,
clicks a day,
hawashindi.
that 117, 145, we say like above
Anashinda,
150
bro.
is about
Wewe
safe.
umesema
I'd
Buga
say
anashinda.
they should be fine for this one, but
Zai.
somebody who's not right hand
Inaweza
side
make
of the screen,
changes.
Scare Bear, they're going to get active.
Just a single
Buga
attack
ako shit. Buga ako shit by the way. Ndio nimeona tu sahi. Make changes.
Damaging the opponents that are alive in the game.
Acha nikwambie wenye wanashinda.
We'll see who doesn't find their attacks here shortly. Walkers and Scare Bear. Everything's on the line right now.
Naye kina wanachoka.
Right above them are starting to take away with it.
Kanata was able to get a knock, and Cold immediately returned it over as Quanti ended up going down. Chimp falls to hide and seek, and there's going to be a little bit of 5 seconds. 5 seconds goes through. You can see Aegis desperately trying to get back to Kanata, but shots are raining in from everywhere.
Yeah, the lobby's starting to focus in from the distance. It's not looking good for Kanata and Aegis. Cold and Scented, however, have this great angle here, and they're starting to pressure in on the other team. Kanata gets fully finished here, so Cold or Scented will get his full elimination credit. Now they're starting to look up. They said, hey, wait, if they got finished, we need to turn this around. Let's go ahead and get these Elans, but no, they don't find any. But the speed.
But akasema I qualified for FNCS. Afu mtu kwa chat akaandika if you qualified for FNCS you also qualified for
and he's almost out of light ammunition, which as a low down team, you really can't afford to be constantly pressuring walls as Storm
and then he's toxic bro, anatukana bro.
Wanaonanga nika kila mtu mcheza Hornet ni virgin.
Is revealed with hey, most of the lobby already posted
He's just trolling.
Yeah, and this is because of
And
all
then
those other
sasa
fights
he's
that we're
toxic
dragging
bro,
on here.
anatukana
Aegis
watu
still
whore
alive, though. You can
bro.
see him barely holding on.
Oh, you whore, skill me.
Jamper and Duke though,
Wale,
for a long
na
time,
watu
they found one
wananishangaza bro.
tagged out from behind, and no, those are big tags. He actually blocks himself off as well. That is
Bro,
not
me
good. That's
notice
Aegis,
like
who's
most
right
of
on
the
the heels
creative
here.
warriors
You
ndo
get
wanacheza
in,
hii
he's starting to
stuff.
move. Can he find a safe spot? Yes,
Donny,
he
Donny
can.
ni creative
Off this
warrior,
screen,
bro.
now playing hit to hit. This is nice.
Donny,
They're
pause.
back in. They will be able to save themselves
Nani
this time.
polarized.
Yamza starts to touch down. Sentinel and Cole are still up. Ager is once again
Nimeona Pesway aliachana na competitive.
Mechanics ya Donny ni mechanics ya
holding on
Donny.
to top 7. A little angle
Then
here.
nilikuwa
Very
na
cheeky,
watch
gets
here.
some tags,
Hey,
and
bro, that
no,
guy is
that was
crazy, bro.
Ager's. That would have been a full finish.
Bruh.
And I mean, they desperately need it. They have to get a refresh. And we talked about refresh. That means finding
Boy,
eliminations,
Joe.
even if you're not the one to get them. Players
Bro, I'm
drop all that
grinding,
loot. You
bro,
need to
like,
pick it up.
Boy, I
As
got
we
Free Fire,
said,
bro.
actually gets the confirmation on
did Free Fire.
We have our top 25, so 1 point going down to every team.
I
Each
know,
of that
bro.
drops. After that, will be an additional
Bro. Seme PUBG.
Pamstone and Batch. They
Ama-
need to find more, but
ama-
luckily for them,
ama-
they have a
ama-
really good
ama
priority
simu yako-
position on the
simu yako ni-
That's the second time
Ama
Aegis was
CS:GO.
1-26.
Tuelewe
Just
akicheza
outside that
PUBG,
extra placement
betri
point.
itafura.
That is probably one of the most painful times to fall there when you can see the points in reaching.
Sicheze PUBG kama unacheza hiyo Free Fire ama Free Fire whatever.
Desperate in the overall material compartment as well. Let's take a look at High Ground, though, a
Kina
team
Clicks
that
wako
hasn't
sawa.
really performed yet today. Play a fine team.
Kina Clicks hawana zone, they have to rotate shit.
Already poisoned
Oh, no,
themselves
no,
up. Van
kina
can
Buga wako
finally make it out of
alive.
command cavern and into endgame for
Yeah, they're
themselves. And
alive.
look at what they have managed to do with it.
Oh,
They
no,
have 7
no,
Elans,
no.
a launch pad, plenty of
No,
loot. So far above the
Wako
third
kando ya
round. This
kina
could be their
Aya,
game.
Day ameua
They're
mtu.
definitely
Day
heating up.
ameua Edge na
Peter
Akon. Oh
finds
my god,
Batch, and then
bro.
Day ends up getting a pair himself.
That is
So
in the
still
chat.
pushing towards the top of the leaderboard. Peterbot and Viola doing an incredible
Kina Day
job in
wanashinda,
that
bro.
regard.
Wako-
Don't forget our second place duo of Slacks and Clarity G fell early, so a little bit of daylight, but Buga and Miro are still up, going through. Pamstone
Umesikia
trying
Buga
to
and
do it
Miro
as
still
solo,
up.
looking for some room. We'll find the recycle pad.
Bro,
He's
kila mtu hapa wanacheza FNCS ni good. Hakuna mwenye yuko shida.
Eh, si ni top
He's only got enough
100.
for one box though, so he
Mazo
needs
W
to take a
amekufa
fight
mazo.
here.
Na vile he's so humble.
There it is, catches
Hebu
one.
tuone,
Oh,
wamesplit.
quick drop
Missed
kick,
moja
shuts him
Clicks.
down.
Kina Clicks
Off
wako
the
huko
box he
katikati,
goes
katikati.
on high ground. It's
Position
Lawrence,
23
it's
size
Blake.
kutoka
We
31.
said they will play for high ground if you let them get into this end game, and they are here. They are there.
Unaona
On high
Cold-
scented.
Cold
Looking
one
hurt, though.
wagopewa,
He is
bro. Na
down
Clicks.
and out of HP. He's gonna have to
Nani?
figure something out.
Cold.
Lawrence and Blake, however,
Donny
starting to
amekufa.
get active here.
Sikia vile
Four
Saji
Elans
na
now.
huwa watu,
And they
bro.
have so much room because of where the
Bro,
zone is
Donny.
pulling. Nobody's been there, but Peterbot and Viola ripped it away.
This is crazy. They actually come on up. They want to take this
Hey,
fight.
watu wana battle
They
for
have
high
such a lead
ground,
over the
bro.
lobby as well. They can risk it all here,
akina
and it
Blake
works out.
wako-
Look at the skeleton
Kina
of
Clicks
the
wako
build.
position
It shows
20
the
saizi.
story.
Ndio,
It's over
Peterbot
here.
wamechukua height. Peterbot wamechukua height.
Day ameua Npen, Day ameua Npen, let's go. Cold amekufa. Jumper amekufa. Maza amemuua Jumper, bro.
Peterbot and Byla really making a statement here.
And then you can see on the low ground, Muzz trying to continue to run through. We talked about how he's had a tough time with Avery staying up on his feet, but he says, don't worry, I'll
Clicks
do it
amekufa.
myself.
Ah,
As quick as
tujef
they're going
tena.
down, Roken and Joji
Shit,
find a
bro.
pair. Oliver gets the confirmation on that side as Yonzo ends up
Day
picking up
amekufa.
We're looking in on our
Bro.
top 10, but Scented right now
Day
barely
amekufa. Tuma.
What one?
Whereas Booga and Miro, it feels like the
Bro,
first
what's
time
my 1000?
as I say that, Booga opens up an
We are
edge,
10
he takes
bob.
so much damage, and not
That's
really
nine pesa, bro.
It's all
Look
gonna
at
be a
this.
Miro. Huge edit from Heaven there to take out Booga, and the full
T-boy,
finish
back
comes
me
through.
out.
Miro has to touch him by himself now.
Nilisema 10 bob. Wewe ukasema 1000 nikakwambia
Approaching 10
pesa kidogo.
eliminations. Miro goes down on the outside there. Incentive is still alive. Got a solo effort right now.
Tuma, bro.
Cheki bro, sinajua kuna war Ukraine na Russia, sinajua amepewa sanction. Mafuta, trade, tunaelewa.
And here it is, great tag.
Bro, when it's come on stream.
And it's clever and it's patient.
Ujamaa na
And that is why
clutch.
Sense is still in this game.
And this grid space is so key because you get just enough space down there.
Booga
And if he
atakufa.
owns that, he can
Hey,
edge
Blake
his
is
walls.
alive.
Anybody who falls down
GG's.
will get taken out. As Bank ends up finding Rotate,
Dude,
we
he's come
almost
on
have a solos
stream.
competition as Elite ends up finding a pair of them. Got another, Central got
stream.
another on the low ground. But up
Minutes
top,
come.
we talked about them
Here.
needing to
Minutes
fall.
come.
And Peterbot and Viola say it's
Nani?
our world, you're just living in
2
it.
minutes
He's
come.
definitely playing this
Nani
one out.
amekuscam,
Peterbot
bro?
and Viola are
Well,
starting to break
woman is
away with a
scam.
monstrous lead
Bro,
here,
sijakuscam,
setting
bro.
themselves up for another victory
Nintendo.
royale. Down comes Scare Bear. He gets shut
Tuma.
down. It's a
Sorry.
2v2.
Wait, whoa. The
Warning,
low team is
bro.
14 elims? Hello?
Yeah, Elite and Bank
Okay,
have really turned this game into something special. This is a huge story maker for them. It's going to put
We'll
them
see in the
inside
stream.
that top
Take it.
10. Now
Peter
top
Bot
7. I mean, there's a lot of
Oh.
placement points. And, of course, Elam points here waiting. Elite with
Peter
the
Bot ako
side aim.
number
I
1 and
love
is
it.
going to
But
win
he
the game.
messes up.
Yeah,
He
what
falls
will
there. The
happen?
Mantle doesn't quite come through. Up and over you go. So Elite's on top. He's going to go in and heal himself out. Bank already taking the fight to the wall here. It's looking great for him, but he's pinched.
No build. He's trying to find an angle, trying to get the
Aye.
mantle up. He's going to give the siphon over. And Peter Bot
His
was able
mega-
to pick that one up. But Elite,
his-
if you're going to
his
clutch
mega
up, now's the
He
opportunity. He
does
has the
not-
position. Great
Not
free
a
fire
clear.
there.
He still has mats as well. And this is it. He's in.
Oh my
Mitz,
God, oh my
great
God.
tag. The zone does the rest.
This guy's going
And
to
yes,
1v2,
Peter
no
Bot
way.
is hurt. Viola is also hurt. They don't have
Ooh.
mats. It's an ultimate low push. But no,
Elite.
he misses. Down
Oh,
goes
shit.
Ryan.
He almost-
he almost-
Touches out.
Peter
In
Bot
the end,
wameshinda.
but
Wameshinda.
man, what an
Yeah.
explosive game
Peter
there
Bot
for
wameshinda.
Elite and Bank.
Wako
As they pick up
height.
14 elims in the second place as well.
Bro,
So,
now
what's
watch wapi?
Pushing through for that. I think they might have ended
Ati?
up picking up the
Una watch what?
15th there going through, which I think will be an
Ati?
NA's record
Una
when it
watch?
comes to the
Nani
duo.
mimi?
Eh?
But
Si
Peter
mi na
Bot
watch.
and
Na watch.
Viola, putting it all together, utilizing that drum for elims. If we
What are you-
three games,
Unacheka?
they're averaging.
Ndio si ameniuliza na wote. Ndio nilisema na wote.
Bro,
We didn't think we were going to see it on NAEs. Peter Bot and Bot are doing something crazy. Tested at their draw spot. They're putting up big numbers. Not only that, they are playing for a high ground. Way to crash and really fight that one out, keeping it in.
and they're utilizing
That must get very attention to a blanket,
having
bro.
better positioning. But
Tele mbona Tibu anacheka?
quarterway point through. We'll kick it
Usijali
on
bro,
over.
nitakutumia 10 bob yako.
Thank you very much, guys. My favorite parts there when Blake and Lawrence were on the high
Sisi
ground.
ameniuliza nini
Nuggets.
una watch? Nimekasema yes.
Peter Bot and Viola. I mean, that was absolutely extraordinary.
Aye,
Back to back
Bana.
there for Peter Bot as well. That we highlighted
That's
them
too
the
much,
previous
oh.
game, and now game 3 happens again. What a superb performance from Peter Bot and Viola. Vivid. I mean, what can we say about this team we haven't said already? Fantastic FNCS finals. They are showing up.
They're ahead of the game right now. They're ahead of this line.
Your boy is back.
50 best duos, and right now, Peter Bot and Viola are saying, hey, listen, yeah, there are 49 other duos in the lobby, but out of everybody, we are the best. The way they are playing high ground, the way they are taking it, like you said, Blake and Lawrence just baffled, right? They themselves were probably like, where did these guys come from? Just like Sundown was. All of a sudden, they're on the high ground, they ride it out, they play it perfectly. SVG, I am amazed by their play so far.
Kina clicks on a clutch bro. Wanashinda
This is what
next
they did in
game.
qualifiers. They just ran through lobbies and absolutely
Yo,
dominated.
bro,
This is
yeah,
what we should
hear me
expect
out.
from them, but against this
1,000.
level of competition, it is
1,000,
absurd. They are
bro.
putting on a show for
Hey,
us,
bro,
and
this
it's similar to what we saw
Shika amepost na
in
boy
EU
wake
with
Kiss.
Aqua and Vino just taking off and
Ati?
soaring through these lobbies.
Kuna
It's
boy
been
amepost
incredible
na
to watch
dem
through these
Kiss.
first 3 games.
It really has. Now, in previous kind of qualifiers and
That judging is so
semi-finals,
suspect.
nations, we've had 11s, 12s, Bank and Elite, 14. 14! That is a lot of digits. I don't even have enough fingers for that. That's a lot. I mean, this again, eliminations will count for 3 points apiece here. And Vivid, 14, an enormous score. The leaderboard changed massively now after 3 games. I mean, what can we say? I mean, eliminations are so pivotal.
Bro, this time I'm in the battery volume club.
Where did you pick up these eliminations? You know, we saw them all the way down to that 2v2 situation. It was very hot. By the way, like Peter and Violet, they may have secured the figure out, but it was close. Right there behind them. Yeah, 14 eliminations.
Bro, nasema nisiongee.
Of the lobby that we were playing.
By PC, like Nazi by headphones, bro.
Peter and Violet's doing is amazing, but
I think jevaney anapumua kwa mic.
Clean that up and
Mike iko mapua.
take it from cold and set.
Jevaney acha kubreathe.
Able to get sent to eventually.
Acha kubreathe basi. Hebu ongea.
This should be no surprise. Peter by Violet.
Man, you
fucking
50 points between first and second place after 3
gas,
games.
nigga.
Yeah.
We thought EU was massive, the difference in the points between, I think, the first,
You a
second or
bitch.
third team. But this, between first and
Why that?
second, is unheard of.
Yeah, this is an absurd lead, and then Elite Bank jumping up
Tibo.
37 positions. Incredible.
Absolutely insane, and that's what
Crisis,
those
are
huge
you-
matches do for you.
are you
see the
illiterate,
variability
bro?
early on within these
Take your
tournaments, and
What do you mean?
you gotta keep it rolling now. Another team,
I just
Slacks and
they will
Clarity, went
explain.
down early, but still able to hold on to that top 3 spot. Same with Buga and Miro. A little earlier than
I don't know the meaning of
still in our
illiterate.
top 5.
God,
You
bro,
see
funny
it
this
now,
game.
Sinajua.
This is Elite and Bank now, 1 game.
Basi, what do I need to explain, Basi?
That is enormous.
As in,
Absolutely incredible.
so
We've
bas
talked about
prove
it a bunch, okay?
prove that I'm
Honestly,
illiterate.
the most impactful thing in this lobby has to be
Prove that I'm
storm surge, right?
illiterate.
Like, some of these players are doing way better at getting storm surge, and that's why they're consistently making it into these games. Peterbot and Violet doing great over at the Collider, being contested by Skittles and
Bro, yani I'm
You
a
see
sweat.
them make full advantage of that situation. Then here, another way that you can kind of play
Sasa,
some
yeah,
is
Jevaney.
be aggressive in this early to mid
Huyu
game.
jamaa analia ya.
Yeah, we must
Kuna
highlight,
masweti
of course,
Free Fire
Surge
man.
is this
Whatever.
electric
Na hapa kuna
performance
wase
of
wana sweat
Storm
FNCS
Surge
juu ya
as well.
do.
For those of you who are
Yeah, na set
just
juu ya hivyo tu.
new viewers as well watching FNCS who are familiar with it, this of course is a threshold where if you're one of the teams that have not inflicted the damage that other teams have, you start to get hit by a storm surge. Every 5 seconds, 25 health gets taken away.
Bro,
As you,
Jevaney, mimi ndo
as well.
nakwambia
As a
Buga
team,
na
you're being affected by
Mero
storm
watashinda
surge.
hii
You ride
stuff.
out with meds or you
Check
try and
nyama za
get
bro, washindi kitu bro.
Najua ni Peter Botbad kushinda game,
Once you
just a
start
game.
trying to heal off storm
You said
surge,
state
it's
wako
fun.
from
That
3 to
is
12.
my personal view on
Ziwa
storm
jana nani
surge. You
anashinda?
have to be proactive, and once you're too
Clicks
late, it
na
becomes
day
really
next
difficult
game.
to overcome that hurdle, because not
Bro,
only you get
sai
hit with
wako
storm
washed.
surge, damage is being dealt. Players
Yeah,
are
bro.
seeing you're getting damage dealt to you,
Sai wako
so then they're
trash.
taking advantage of you being weak, and it just becomes that much harder and just snowballs as you continue to go down.
Ona, clicks
Great place to meet there. We are halfway
As
through
in, clicks
day number 1 right now, right? So this could be the
Hmm.
turning point for a lot of these
confused.
teams. They've had
Ako
3 games to kind
confused.
of learn what's going on in the lobby.
Ako-
Let's see if they
ana-
can switch it up.
ana-
Yes,
Kupola.
let's see indeed, of course. That is game number 3 done. We
Yeah.
move into game 4,
Nah,
the second half of day number 1 here at FNCS Finals NAE. But how will things unfold? Will our top team
Nini bro,
continue
usiongee
to
bro.
reign supreme? Let's find out.
Ako na hiyo
Let's jump
control
in. Sundown.
instincts ya naitwaje kupush kila msee.
Ya kupush kwa box tu.
Ndio hiyo kama na spray na juu kuna watu wanapita.
Bana juu anadhani yako creative.
I mean, Peter Buck and Viola. I said it right at the start. Man, I feel like we
Watu
almost
wanacheza
forgot.
kampe wako creative
Nobody's
bro.
forgetting now that first qualifier they ran through there in first place.
Game
Bro,
four,
dem ni
game
nani?
4.
We might have to start talking about that match
Game
point.
4.
They're starting to really take away.
Natachukua hii mimi naona ni
We'll
Buga.
leave it to Sundown to break
Buga
down
na
what
Clicks.
exactly
wako namba
means.
wako namba 4.
Another game or two,
Click,
but
click.
Clicks wako
Chris
namba.
Nado.
Kina Clicks wako
they're
namba.
starting to get so far ahead of the
Chris
competition that
Nado.
it's going to be interesting.
Huh?
50
Chris
points
Nado.
breaking away from them and the others down low.
Ziwa kwa
I mean, they
namba.
have a game or two
Sijui.
buffer to effectively take a
Bro,
Yeah,
wako
unless the
29
team who is
ama
in second or third right now puts up a huge elimination game,
Hawako top
VR,
10.
no matter what happens
Umoche.
after this game, they're still going to be in
Stranger
that number
Things
1
season
spot on the leaderboard, which is a bit of a
I did-
ridiculous
did.
performance, but as we cover it, we're going to get
Atisha napua kwa mic. Bro, top mic kwa mapua.
Here we have it. This is it. We're hopping on
get a
in the
life, man.
halfway mark.
Huh?
Drawn in the sand already, right? The line's been marked. Let's go ahead and jump on into the battle bus. that last game. We're going to see them there.
Mbona mnanionea hivi lakini?
This is far north for the best cut here. Everyone up top, they're going to touch down quickly. These fights are going to be explosive. They're going to end very fast. Bizzle and Diego finally set off with a bit of advantage here, pushing back Slacks and Clarity G.
So to me, at least seeing just the particular sleepy sound spot, it seems like Bizzle and Diego probably got more rounds where they weren't on the absolute southern part of the map. As we see Diego end up picking up because those long flights are generally a lot harder if you haven't drilled them. Knowing exactly where you need to go.
And also Slacks is knocked by Hide and Seek, who's the team on the other side, the southern side of the sleepy sound. Is so hurt here. Yeah, he's barely got.
Bro, don't ever trust Kenyan girls, bro.
Anaona Javani ana succeed in life in YouTube in every shit, lakini Tibo yako hapo tu is brokers nigga sleeping every day akicheza Fortnite ama Free Fire.
Tena ako shule anafikiria Free Fire.
Wake up nigga.
Ako shule anafikiria Free Fire. Throw the grenade.
It almost plays a different dynamic, right? You have to have a strategy.
Jevaney na watch na
and one of the things that
mic yako iko kwa mdomo
all the time when they're
ama
landing
kwa
in a
mapua,
spot,
so mbona
it's such
unapumua
a big
loud.
deal when somebody moves is it's called the drop map. And what that kind of teaches players once you've gone through is regardless of what the bus path is, you know exactly where you need to jump out, how far you need to glide to land on one of those priority buttons. Now if you haven't necessarily drilled and had to practice to get to where you need to get going,
What's your Instagram?
somebody else who does can take advantage of that. As we're seeing Scented and Cold begin to get their rotation going on. They've got a little bit of daylight now.
And it's clear implications as well.
Inaitwa nini?
These are teams that are on the heels of our first place duo. So for Bila and Peterbot, the second and third go down, I mean, they are going to have such a killer lead like over everybody. Like, they're going to really have a lot of room to work with. And that's also scary because everyone is chasing down that FNCS pickaxe of champions. Who want to go ahead and be one of those teams in that number one conversation first place. But we have a team like Peterbot and Bila playing the way they're playing right now. They have this exceptional drop spot. And no one's really contesting them. Yes, you have Skittles and Users on the other side, but this is a drop spot big enough for two. There's no need to take an early clash necessarily. We'll see it happen, but it isn't forced.
And one of the things I love about Peterbot's looting path right now is his prioritizing getting that mythic scope burst, and then additionally, you can see him getting all of the high value materials. He's on nearly max stone and 300 plus metal in the blink of an eye because he knows the high value resources.
We'll get Nero here, talk about high value resources. The entire drop
guys,
metal, wood, extra coolers to get those chug splashes. For Elites and Bank, man, big game to put them inside the conversation. A big game to hang your hat on. You pulled off something exceptional this FNCS. You talked about it. Quite literally could be a record-setting game, record-pacing game right there. A huge performance from them.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think, at least for this FNCS, we've seen a duo put up that many eliminations. It might have been one or two that were close going through, but just a fantastic effort. And it goes to just how strong it can be on the leaderboard.
You know what's very interesting is that they've changed their playstyle as well. Pop up, they're like, wait a second, top 10? We should not stay in second. Let's get out of here. And it's almost like we can do this. Sometimes that's all you need. Daylight there, and you can kind of keep it rolling, which honestly I feel like is what's happening to Peterbot and Bila. There's just no slowdown from the first qualifier where they took first place to now, and they're continuing to keep rolling. We have a problem with zone though, and the problem is Konami have not played well when the zone's been coming. It becomes more and more difficult for any team that has a zone on top of them to find teams rotating.
And it seems like they do a lot better when they're forced to go somewhere else because they move around the map so well together. But also another team that we need to look at here is Muzz and Avery. Because we talked about facing adversity, being able to overcome it. I know a lot of people talked about like, hey, I'm not going to
you look more gay.
But they found the way to put it all together with individual effort and skill. And now set up pretty solidly for what feels like the first time we've tuned in with
VP,
Yeah,
bro.
definitely a good spot to be in top 9. We know we lost a little early that last game that rotated.
Guy, maskini baki.
Maybe they
Baki
stood
ana
around a
5
little too
points,
long,
bro.
right? And they got picked off.
I mean, it's the cavern. Everyone
Napenda
always
Baki, bro.
hangs out, right?
Super unfortunate time for them to come on in. Avery falls in the storm, right? There was a lot of things that didn't go well, but hey, the fact that they've managed to pick up
Kilumi vile
enough
anasleep.
Jevaney,
top 10
Je-
is important.
Jevaney.
And it's cool in its own right. We'll see how
Ushe
that plays
cheza
out for Acorn
controller.
and Edgy. Here's a team that's starting to rocket their
Controller.
way on up,
Yeah.
jump their way on into this conversation.
Nilianza na PlayStation, bro.
Acorn and Edgy, right?
Hiyo
Who is it? I
kitu
think
ni
somebody's
work.
done leaning into
Hadi mimi kwa controller sikuwa
as that champion
na
caliber,
improve.
they're here.
And one of the things we end up going back and we're talking about predictions,
Well,
a lot of
meza
time
mic,
looking
bro.
at the drop map and all that, but we also flip-flop all the time. Like if we were going through rehearsals yesterday and you looked at the prediction page then compared to now, I'm pretty sure like 3/5
Well, no,
of
meza
us
mic, bro.
ended up changing and going through it. It just goes to show how strong the lobby is. The players
Yeah,
moving
Matibu.
around each other, and it can make a big
I'm joking,
difference.
I'm
As right
joking.
now, Jackson and Mason, who were pretty much known throughout the entirety of the qualifiers to
Oh,
just
baby,
come
only
barging
you,
into Greasy
baby.
Grove,
You're my
have
only one.
completely swapped up their playstyle.
Definitely, kind of like
only
Shoni
one.
and
Forehead,
Polo,
though.
right? Changing up the play style, trying to find success, especially when we see
Bro,
finals.
na
We love
forehead,
to see,
bro.
especially newer teams, try out
Bruh.
things that
Bro,
are,
hakuna kitu inanichekesha kama kuona KSI anachokoza
no new
forehead
team
yake,
that
bro.
we've seen show up today.
Hii stuff huwa inanibamba, bro.
Sisemi kwa mbaya.
In the past, maybe you see players just headbang into a drop
Cheki
spot.
day,
Not
ni
this time.
kucrouch walk tu, bro. Like you guys,
Very quiet. He's hunting Lawrence and Blake. We've seen
Hakuna mtu
Flix
mwingine
do
ni
this
hao tu.
Oh.
a number of times, but can they finally get
Cheki tu, day ako weird, ana crouch.
Controller player, bro.
Blake and Lawrence,
Aki
right?
am
Uko
done.
FNCS, uko top tier pro na crouch.
Blake and Lawrence completely off guard out in the open. They has to be careful those visual sound
Bro,
effects.
wajua,
You're
once you reach
positioned
the top,
further than
it's
others,
hard
but he
maintaining it,
understands
bro.
this
Sasa
very,
this
very well.
guy
Now they
is
have the
showing
high
that
ground. They have to see him in his
kabisa.
natural divot. This is the perfect time
If you're a
to open
pro,
up. He doesn't
you
even
won't
wait
be a
for
pro
it.
forever.
Finds a couple tags here, tries to take the push. This is what Day does best, though, is to open up these fights and try to fully commit to it. But Blake and Lawrence have been playing very well.
But one of the key differences, normally when they take this
You know,
push, there's
Tifu
somebody
ameingiza
lurking
like
around them who can
over
chip
how
them out.
much?
And we've commented
10
on it every
million.
time. But for the first time,
This
there's
year.
nobody else there. And also for the first time, they just back
10
off.
million yani Kenya
Playing
shilling.
low
Jana-
steady here, playing
Jana-
smart. They
Jana
probably
walikuwa
recognize
wanacheza
these guys are playing very
inaitwaje?
well. But there's more, of
300,000.
course,
Yeah.
unfolding. We got Vivid to give us the lowdown.
Bro. Say like
Hey guys,
team
just wanted
yake
to
iko
catch up. Big
perfect.
question mark coming into
You know,
today.
amezoea
Something
hizo
cool. We're presumably gonna be
games
contested
related
by
na aiming
Quanti
to
and Larson.
Apex
Big switch ups happening in
na
games
Call of
1,
Duty.
2, and 3. Scented
Warzone.
now in game 4.
Especially
as he's
Warzone.
taking a split drop.
Tangu
But it's
aache
causing a little bit of
Fortnite.
awkward
Ni
moments. You can
ku-aim
see
tu.
him using that siege cannon to rotate over to the building, thinking that he was going to get some free loot, but no, he actually runs into Larson again. Ends up making it to safety though. Let's see what they can do with the rest of this game.
Bro.
And the name of the game in NA East is stay on your feet. And
Buga
as I say
amekufa.
that, Boga
Jesus.
fails to do so. Npen getting the knock and taking him
Si
down.
umesikia
See, Ness
Buga
actually
hapa
knocking
amekufa.
Diego as well over in the Sleepy Sound. And
Buga amekufa.
Miro says, I've
Lakini-
had enough of that. He's
lakini
switching
teammate
back
wake-
and
Teammate wake Mero bado
trying to
yupo.
maybe get a reboot back in the zone.
Alafu,
He
bado-
can hang out
bado ni
here
teammate wake.
forever. Too far.
Amekufa.
Tulia.
Nyamaza,
Even
amekufa.
has the
Wakikufa
shield
wote.
keg to offset some of the
Amekufa.
storm surge and has a med miss. If he just wants to hang
Mbona
out
watu wako
and
brain dead?
not worry,
I swear.
the other
Wanakufa
players
zone.
getting away, he should be able to grab this card and make it happen.
Zi ameuliwa na
Chance niguze.
This entire
ameuliwa na
saloon is not even
Npen.
looted. Like, talk about having an incredible
Zee,
draw spot. Then even
sinataka
more loot to
Miro.
play with.
Hebu tulia.
You can see up at the top that Miro.
You know Miro is a
controller
player.
Points in each of their last 60
Si ndio.
games
Laki ako
played,
sawa,
so
ako
they
sawa.
have been playing okay, right? But,
Sikade
you know,
hapa
what if-
anatuaibisha hapa.
That's actually really, if we're talking minimum number,
Anaibisha kina
up to
Tivo.
Unajua
minimum
Jimani?
of
Unajua
16
Jimani?
points
Unajua
going
Jimani?
through in that run-up
namjua
is
Jimani.
really, really
Si alikuwa anapigana na Doni jana.
Yeah, like that is a very impressive
in
thing
that
coming
age
through. And I mean, I
survivor
think that it then has to go back
Ni
to
creative
the last
warrior,
finals
si ndio?
that they ended up going through in the qualifier. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yesterday
definitely a
basi
lot
kina
of
Jimani wa
guys
clapping
dates way
kina
back
Doni.
to the other teams.
was
Of course, they were looking
Jimani.
for punching in those FNCS champs, but Jenny
Alikuwa na
Alves
mclap
Tunajua
Doni
Jimani.
na duo wake mwingine hapo.
closer and closer to
But
danger.
but Doni
Southside
wasn't
Sentinel,
serious. He was
pay
just
attention
playing.
to that feed. Something might be going down for Avery and Mugg.
That's why they
They
clap
managed
you.
to end up on high ground. Okay, so we're just seeing
Whatever.
take the dice and roll it.
And I mean, also, just as we're looking at all these teams who are in command cavern, we had, I believe it was second, sixth, 9th, 11th, all right on top of each other. These guys are the top part of the table at one of the strongest points and having an amazing vantage.
Bro, imagine ukifika FNCS wasikia
Umenotice Tibo yako serious ni kana naguza FNCS ya Free Fire.
ni kamba yeye ndo anacheza FNCS.
Hadi aongei.
And it looks like they're looking for a fight, but Day and Clicks are also looking for a battle. They got
Tibo inakwambia una future. Uko jealous.
Yet again, Day
Bro,
taking
si
chip
poa,
damage
mazi yako form
from the
1,
side
bro.
as they're trying to get this aggression. If they can get wall to wall, they can win these fights. Instead, it looks like they're trying to potentially rotate past.
Unamharibia game, bro.
Day and Clicks are
Choma jevaney.
edging and corner than that.
Stream ako form 1.
Tibo, wasikia bro.
Tabletop and Golden, of course.
Wasikia Tibo, sikiza basi. Sikiza advice.
They have been landing and pretty much moving the shambles loots.
Sasa sinacheki mimi nimeachwa, si ndio?
This is actually the first time just taking a
Minarudi.
peek at Peter Bot's inventory. We talked about him
Second
going
year,
for that
this
mythic
September.
AR right off of
Na
the
hiyo
start.
time
Just
ndo
putting shots.
mafreshers
First time
wanaingia
we've
ma
seen him
first
holding
years.
the striker pump, which is something I wanted to talk about. Even back
We
with the
about to
right
get busy, my guy.
and everyone was using that.
Tibo, you are a freshman.
Attack, shotgun. He likes the high rate of fire weapons.
Bro.
He's kind of taking advantage of the walls, and as we see here,
Bro,
we talked about Miro.
Buga amekuwa rebooted.
Tutamaliza wewe, hebu niambie. Hebu estimate tutamaliza wewe.
That too.
And the worst part about this, they are
20
below
touch.
the surge actually. So this is a
Tebu,
desperate attempt for them. The launch pad is absolutely a
bro.
necessity here, guys. They
David.
have to not only get to the zone, they have to get to the zone. They have to
Tunacheki
fight.
Buga
They have to
amekuwa
find time to
rebooted.
heal.
Yeah.
There's a
Bro,
lot working
nakwambia hao
against
ndo
them here.
magoat.
Now, the one thing they can do,
I'm
get
telling
in the
you.
box fight, throw those 2 barrels down, and they can actually take damage
Buga
and take a
anakuwa
fight. That is
karibu,
probably the
brother.
only play that is realistic here for them. Buga is split up from Miro, though. Miro's
So,
decided to go
kushinda World Cup
straight into
ilikuwa tu
another team.
clout.
Buga, however, says, hey, there's many
Hey,
I
bro,
need this
Buga,
loot.
Buga is actually
As
good,
we see
bro.
now, Boga trying to find some time. Honestly, he might
What are
look
you
to
saying, bro?
potentially fish.
Mbona
Like,
na
they're
diss
running
Buga,
out of
bro?
options here in
Unajua
terms of
Buga ni
light
nani,
HP.
bro?
And when you're late to the edge of the zone, I promise you there's going to be players there.
Mbona
As
na
we
diss
swing on
Buga, bro?
over, Duke and Jumper, they're in a similar situation, but able to pick up
Nasema
much
kitambo
needed
alikuwa so
healing.
shit.
Definitely a huge fight here. TK's down,
Kama
Hodge is
sio
down, down goes Thatch as well.
World
Thatch
Cup.
falling is actually huge. Implications for the standing as well. But
He was
Miro
actually
is
good,
in the
trust
box.
me.
So does Buga. They're stepping
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Player
If it
5.
wasn't for
and
World
one
Cup,
player
angekuwa
on the
normal.
other side of the wall. Have they done enough? Miro has
angekuwa
already picked up the full
tena
elimination. He just face-checks a 2-man duo and gets away with
But he won
one. And now he's
FNCS
looking to close
ile
down
ya
round
last
player five.
season.
I was
Ile
nuts. I
ya
was just about to
duels.
say, up in the feed, Miro got a knock.
Amini ya
He just
trios,
full
alishinda ya
sent
trios
using that legendary
FNCS.
combat
Ilikuwa
SMG,
ni yeye,
getting on top of TK
Mero
and Player
na
5,
Maz.
who are very good in the
Walishinda
circumstances.
FNCS.
But as you talked about, 7 below, 52 below, Storm
Alafu
is sitting
at the same
right
time,
in.
at
Player
the same
5,
time
he's below as
akareceive
well. So if
skin
they're
yake.
able to take the
So he was
aggression
like,
onto
guys,
him,
I
this
won
could
World
end up
Cup,
being a huge
I won
save race for them.
FNCS,
Also,
and now I have
look at
my own
so
skin.
clout.
It's
Kama
starting
so
to run
clout ya
really
Maz.
low here.
Kama so
Miro
clout ya
as well.
Maz.
Has to find-
Clock is ticking.
Kuna
There's
free
no more
membership
time
ya
left.
gym
One surge
fulani
and that's it.
huko East
That is
West.
it. So right there, that's so much
Buga is
HP.
dead.
No,
Buga
I
is dead.
swear.
time
He's
for the
dead to
bandits.
zone, Buga.
Don't troll Sundown. There is no time for that here. It's finals, baby.
Kwambia,
It's off to the
this
races.
World
though.
Cup
He has
shit,
to get a little bit more
it
tags.
makes
Will he
sense.
survive?
I will still claim that Zexo could have popped that bandage
Sasa
and sprinted into zone.
bro, how do you
with
drink
just
minis
the
na
zone
uko na
still
bandages?
only switching over to 2-tick, there is
Buga,
potential
sindio?
that they might be
It
able to
don't
keep
make-
Booger from getting full
it makes
confirmed. We're
sense.
going to keep an eye in the top left-hand corner as
So
I see
sad,
that.
bro.
Kanata gets a pair, Day gets one, and it actually looks like Booger ends up going down. We'll see if another reboot can come
Hey,
through.
Peter
Peter Ball
Botlada.
underneath Surge might have just individually put him above. I think it did.
Miro's down as well, and that's it. Second place down, third place down, fourth is all
Giovanni.
that remains in the game. Peterbot and Bila
Tibo.
now have the runway completely open. It's a green
Tibo,
light.
Tibo.
How much gas do they have in the tank? How far can they
Tibo.
take this opportunity? If they manage to pop off
Tibo, nyuma
once
yako,
again,
grenade.
it is a true runaway
unacheza-
train.
unacheza
No man
FNC
deep
solos.
probably gonna land on them, contest them, make something troublesome
A la
for them because
clutch.
so far
Bro.
they have had
Umebaki uko top 10.
Right now, DJ, I'm looking for a little bit of room.
Umekufa.
Basi hapo amekufa. Yesu umekufa hapo.
Just as I say that, a duo gets confirmed, and they will, fortunately, not have to dig into their resources.
Mega
Like
anakufa,
Japan still
Dubs
catching a pair on
amekufa,
the Mega
bro.
and Dubs.
We did see Thatch go down though, so
Bro,
it could be a
watu wa
solo
Fizz
here. Mega and Duck
wana
now
wako chini.
fully
Uski
taken
hadi
out.
Mongrel
We
amequit
will
Fortnite.
get the full update there.
So
Shortly
sad.
Scented and Cold, however, that team
So
that
sad.
was set,
Wangenipewa
it was fourth
opportunity.
place still in the game. It's Scented
Bro,
and Cold here.
angetuachia
Now
sisi
in
hiyo
second place, they
PC
find
pesa
someone
zake
off guard.
tumuonyeshe.
Bana anipe taka PC na sema true so PC monitor na account. I'm done.
Si monitor bro, hata wewe na hiyo PC yako saizi uko wapi bro?
Bro, susikie. Tibu hadi usiongee. Tibu shut up.
Tibu shut up and you play on airplane. I don't know what.
Console
Play airplane.
anachezanga kwa console. Ushaicheza na Tibu ukasikia sijui hadi nini. Azimsikia
The PlayStation inafanya
So now we have 3 teams at the command
My
table.
game
Top 10, all still alive this game.
And we saw a very similar thing
T-Boy.
over ODU where
T-Boy say I'm a switch.
you don't even need to alpha it up. People will
KBM.
give you room. There's plenty of resources.
At least aseme mimi ni keyboard and mouse
The zone
player.
is getting super interesting now as we are relatively central, but with just
hybrid.
the river running through it and not
Yeah,
getting natural high ground spots, players are going to be forced to burn
Anaweza
a lot of their
anaweza
hard
kuza
maps,
control at the
but
same
as
time
we're checking in with
KBM.
our teams in the top 10, they don't have
Lakini
any.
anyways wacha ende. Tusimsumbue, tusimpe pressure. T-Boy no pressure man, no pressure. Sahi place number 2 kwa offense yako.
Single Elam right now, also very, very hurt, looking super bad right now. What is their
Anapata
play here?
face
How do you
drops, bro.
survive this?
Honestly, if they have the awareness to know that team is there, you just want to
Moja,
jump
T-Boy,
on
simu
back
yako ni
into
tape
the
gani?
zone. They should know somebody is rotating.
Huawei, bro.
Here it is.
No, doesn't
Android
find out.
Mbona sasa unaitesa
Ndio maana
hivyo?
huwezi
Una
cheza-
quick and date yake.
Ndio maana
Sneaks his way through.
ndio maana huwezi
Must
cheza
have
PUBG.
down low here as
Betri
well.
yako itafura.
Big
Anti
is in
Free
a
Fire.
world of
I'm
trouble.
Free
He's
Fire.
pinched in between our top 5 number 7 teams here. But not only that, it's Muzz and
Na
Avery.
niko sure hiyo Free Fire yake
right on top of
graphics
each
ni ya
other.
Minecraft.
Muzz and Avery have the party
Na
position.
bado
But
simu
one
yake
thing
ina
too,
overheat.
he has the sniper. I'm about to say
Yeah,
he's
bro,
going
that's
to look
too
to
far,
catch
bro.
somebody over peeking.
What's crazy is Avery and Booger are one of the 2 only any East pros that will actually carry this.
T-Boy, we're sorry.
confidently.
Okay, we're
and it's
just
also
joking.
interesting to note that they played with each other in the past, right? So some stuff working between them.
Threat's got a knock on to Cold, which we talked about. Peterbot and Byla entering tournament management mode. If Cold and Scented go down, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are down
T-Boy,
right at the
T-Boy.
first placement threshold.
So risky.
Hey,
DJ
T-Boy.
taking the pad here. It's low. He's moving fast, but Avery, all he
Hey,
needs to do
T-Boy.
is sneeze on DJ, and it's over. Luckily, it touches
That's it.
down.
T-Boy, man,
Avery
talk to me.
goes down to the
T-Boy, talk to me, man.
Shoney and Polo. We talked about them. They're so
Form
good.
one, talk
They're
to me.
finding a lot of
Form one,
success
Form
here.
one.
And
Don't
already
die,
that's a
don't
full
die,
elimination.
don't die.
That's not. That is a complete elimination.
And Degen and Iamzo are about to be cooked
my
right
God.
here. I mean, they got about 1 damage worth of HP
Is that
between
just
the
a
2
launch
of them.
pad? Might as well
Bro, this
put it
is a
down,
duo
right?
and then they're
Don't want to
split
give
up.
that one away for free. Pamsel is just
Oh, I
looking
know why.
around now.
Because
You can
they're
see
all
the
1
boss
HP,
crumbling
si
here. That's
vizuri.
Pamsel's trying to pickaxe. There it
Like
is.
wako
We get to jump in.
pamoja.
Wakikaa pamoja.
He just
Eh.
pushes off the Yamza for a second. Bank finally gets picked
At
off
least
by
mmoja
Silver.
survive.
Another team that's starting to inch their way into that top
Wale
Wale
five.
si ningekuwa
Big
na
knockdown onto Lawrence,
mazee
a team
na
that was
akili mazee.
edging their way on up.
Bro,
Nafikiria kaa sijui
Does
watu
not will the
20
finish
bro.
come through is the true question, as that's a team that is
Moja,
on
unajua
Peterbot's
Pura-
heels.
Pu-
Remember,
Pura-
Peterbot and Byla are
Nini?
effectively
Watch
in a
Pura.
position to
what-
just break away.
Bro.
I mean, they are 70 plus
That
guy
points
alikuwa
up. No,
console,
that is not a
alikuwa-
mistake.
alikuwa-
Yes, we are only in game 4. We'll have
sahi-
2 more
sahi,
actions.
man.
Nakwambia
They are
bro, ukipata
70
PC
plus
Kenya
points
bro.
up on the
Demon.
closest duo in the
Ati-
lobby right now. That means besides Peterbot and Byla, hey, things are pretty
Hapo
close.
Australia.
This is the finals. You gotta catch
Nasema
those boys, and you
ukipata
gotta start
PC
getting
Kenya.
going now.
Yeah, definitely. And Cold is still
Wewe ni
alive
beast.
here as well.
Wewe ni
I mean,
beast.
they're just
Hadi
holding on by
unasikia
a
hadi
thread.
Elite alishi
So
na
that's right,
Shadows.
Stid. Let's
Bro.
see it though for Bizzo. Bizzo gets taken out.
But si Shadows pia kuna PC.
We're starting to see all the trades happen now.
Lakini
Here's
unajua
Byla, here's
ina
Peterbot, here's the
depend tu.
situation.
Unajua like kuna msee sahi niko sure kuna msee kuna console player ama tuseme hata FPS player kushinda Shadows, lakini akipata tu opportunity ya kukuza to 40 hertz. That's raps, man. That's raps. Hivyo.
Bana, kwa hivyo mimi ni mkali kuliko Shadows na Elite.
I'm telling you, eh.
Ini gote bro.
Sasa ukiguza tu
Lakini
40
wewe
hertz,
huyo uko hapo hapo.
Sasa tungekuwa tukikuwatch.
not have any shields. They see the player
Sasa ndio tunakuspectate tuko mimi ndo na kucoach I'm coaching you man.
On to Quanti right now, and we are closing in on that.
Baila Tiki vile anakuwa focus na number 1.
I want to pick up Igor on the change the angle. He gets taken out. They fall just outside the top 25. Finally, now there's an opportunity for the players to go ahead and hop their way on up, make this a closer competition. But we said it, they have effectively a 70-point stretch over everyone else. That's so far about 3 games worth of comfort. So if we're looking now in this game, first out, second out, third out, fourth out,
wako alive.
that means we just have Blake and Lawrence, Duke, Jamper, Moses, Avery, Pam Self-Action, and then Joji and Roke from the outside looking into the top 10. They want to make a push here to try and equalize that a little bit.
Wako number 17 saizi bro. Nakwambia wanashinda hii game.
VR and some elimination.
Couple bubble teams, Walkers and Scarebird,
Joji,
down low, Jeff's duo. I saw
number 10.
Rangers holding on there on the side. So those are teams that if they perform well here and now, they will jump into the top 10 and put themselves in the conversation talks for game 2. But Rokane and Joji's hurt. He got left behind. He catches up to Rokane now, and they're both looking very, very weak right now as they don't have a lot of HP. I think Joji got picked off on the back
pad. You can see just a sliver of HP in daylight on Joji. That's barely even 1. Might as well be 0. Duke will end up getting the confirmation over. That's barely even 1. Might as well be 0. Duke will end up getting the confirmation over. Nick goes down. Tabs goes down. We're in the top 25. Storm Surge will turn on here for 20 seconds with 5 more players. Don't fall, but we're looking at shambles here. Joji 52 HP and looking for some space. Rokane gonna split all the maps now. Find HP, slams down some on the walls. Looking for a little bit. Goes down. Joji goes down. And honestly, this is gonna be a shakeup here. Muzz and Avery, they're in a good position if they can find some builds.
Definitely. Pamso also falls there, so there it is. Another top 10 team already getting just blown out of the lobby here well before the big placement points start to get given out. For now, though, high ground, Pledge and Teo starting to pressure down the lobby. Muzz and Avery sneak their way on into 4th here. Oliver OG finds Walkers. The 2 bubble teams clashing there on that low ground position. That mid ground is getting very, very interesting here. Pledge, though.
Sasa duo wake ni Jeff. Nimekuwa nikiwatch stream yake live sasa. Jeff ile huwa na rage. Sasa like nimenotice they don't get that many elims. Kazi yao tu ni ku-search na ku-survive. Wakipata wakiangukia elimu it's okay.
Wanacheza placement. But you ni smart.
Definitely a full finish right there. That's what the Muzz and Avery down to 3 points. Muzz and Avery go down inside the top 5. There it is. Blake now has a chance to run away with this, but there's not many solos alive here. They get found out right there. He gets just a run away here. He's trying to stay alive here. Watching this behind here, just the zone bounces back. It's gonna work very well for him. Kanata finds Oliver OG in the feed. Agers gets hurt, but he's still in it. Agers does have to clutch up now. Kanata falls down 2 on the right though. We have Nets trying to solo clutch right now. He's inside the top 8, and it's a pop-off performance. This mid-ground is so congested.
Looking for some space. We still have plenty of, actually 6 solo riders out there right now, as well as 6 duos, so we're evening it out. You can see the action on the backside of the zone as Av trying to get a piece of it, but Blake is hanging out just underneath that. He says, hey, the more people that fall, better for me, but we saw threats in Qualifier 1 with an amazing 10 elim game by himself, sitting on 4 right now, and despite the builds, they're looking pretty good, but we're bouncing back and forth. This is our 3rd straight bounce back, and if it pulls anywhere back to the north, things are going to get real weird real fast.
Yeah, Nets is trying to go ahead and sit this one out. He's going to go for the Storm play, the Med Kit play. Meanwhile, Ghost Blake on that low ground, just inching his way around here. This back and forth bounce has really played into his favor because
Jeff Blake bado ako alive. What the freak?
Pledge and crew on high ground have slowly ran out of materials, so now they have to come on down. This is not a free win for them by any means, as Threats and Rise have been looking on up. Huge knock right there from Threats. He gets some big zigzags, goes in for the finish, but no, someone sneaks up behind him. It's actually Bryson Austin, and down he goes to the hands of Bryce here. Meanwhile, Blake sneaking away with so many points. Now he's about 40, maybe 30 point stretch from first place, so he is definitely in that conversation, bouncing his way back into it. On the side, though,
but there's going to be a change in elevation here. Yes, we're heading back towards some old field, but if you don't have a way up or you don't have daylight to mantle, it's going to get very tough. But Blake has, since we've watched, he's picked up the one elimination and like 10 placement points.
He's just up.
Chilling.
He's just adding up here. We're inside the top 5.
He has to go up. He has to go up.
This low ground so well, but Adrian's is coming around the corner, and he just lights him up like a firework. Down he goes. 5 eliminations now, and Adrian snatches up a 4th place here, and he is starting to crank his way out the side. Remember, high ground does not have any builds here. The low ground teams have been able to live off the siphon down. Finally, goes Adrian's users is clutching up. Chris Space here. Down he goes, and he has all the white heels. He ends up dropping them here for Skittles. This is a team that's at Collider. Remember that. So they absolutely need this. A free elimination for Narwhal in Nexi as they've managed to turn around this high ground, and now they're fighting their way out to this victory royale here. It's a 2v1 situation. You can run, but you cannot hide. Down he goes. Spears him there with the horn on his head. And I want to say we're going to get a shake on the leaderboard, but we know who's
they were the ones
top.
on height.
However,
and then
Blake and Lawrence, they made a push. I mean, Blake was talking about maybe dipping down to Florida instead. He's going to be dipping all the way up the top of the leaderboard here as we can now take a look next to Narwhal. I mean, just great positional advantage. 8 elims in the VR. That's going to put them in the conversation.
Yeah, we saw what happens when that zone can bounce back and forth right there. It can start to work against that high ground team.
You can do it.
We're starting to put down too many materials, and then all of a sudden, there are no refreshes available because they're behind all these heavy mats.
It was a 6, 7, 8, and then 9 went barely over to the side, but you saw so many things happen. We thought maybe this was the game where Peterbot and Byron stalled, but everyone else went down as well, so we know who's on the top. What does the rest of the leaderboard look like, gentlemen?
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. And then we saw there as well, you know, they didn't have the high ground, but Narwhal and Nexi did have the Storm in their favor. They go through the Victory Royale there and getting a lot of points as well.
And but getting a lot of points.
This was one of those amazing games that we have here as well. As the boys mentioned, we had a top 7 teams, only Blake and Lawrence in 5th position, with a 1 still going, but there were 25 teams left in that game.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy KSI. Yes, this isn't a try not to laugh. This isn't a Reddit. Today, we are reacting to me on TikTok. KSI TikToks are going to be looking at what people have been doing or saying about me on TikTok. Every now and then, I do like to dibble and dabble on TikTok. Like to make a few TikToks myself. But yeah, there's a lot of content on TikTok that I miss. So I'm here to see some of the things that I've missed. So without further ado, let's do this. Okay, we're starting off with KSI Mids to King Anne-Marie. Okay, alright.
You ever f***ed Anne-Marie? Yes.
Wait.
Now, Anne-Marie,
What?
be honest, is KSI the best person you've ever
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't remember this.
Ed Sheeran?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't
Wow.
remember this. Looking for sun rays.
I actually think KSI did it now.
Woo! Yeah, I'm on the horse, motherfucker. Take a look at me. I'm on the horse, though. Sorry, fucking me. I'm on the horse. That's Beastie Alice. Shut up, bitch. I just want the horse. OG. Let's go, boss.
Nah, bro.
I'm on a horse. I'm on a horse. Take a good hard look, because I'm on a fucking horse. Damn, man.
down bad.
Nani bro, hiyo stuff ya house imenichekesha bro.
Never forget where I came from. Never forget.
Jevaney, what
What the hell, you lot?
You can hear me breathe.
Why do you guys try to create so much sexual energy and tension between
Sini ni hizi za Scorpio sijui ni HyperX headphones. HyperX headphones.
HyperX. Sawa. Okay.
Mbona ni mbaya?
Zai so mbaya ziko saa kuna vile umeweka kichwa chako nikaona kitu ka X. Unajua ya HyperX hiyo
Yep,
X.
bro. You know how we do it,
T-boy
bro.
Mike.
T-boy Mike yako ni gani?
Oriamo.
Bro. T-boy.
My mic, you say?
Mike yako ni gani, bro?
My mic, you ask.
Mbona Mike usio?
Like, we're just good friends. Why are you guys got me weird, man?
Bro, we know you did
Me and Anne-Marie were cool.
Anne-Marie, bro. I just know it.
I know, I should address this.
Bro, I sent you, bro. Nakumbuka, I sent you my setup kitambo.
I mean, I'm sure there's a more Simon video that will explain it better.
T-boy amehumble. Hadi menyamaza tu.
It's okay. We understand, bro. We understand the situation.
No, for real, bro.
Follow anyone.
I have a
T-boy. Yo T-boy.
Yes.
Usikione wewe ni failure. Wewe ni beast.
No, bro.
Again, go outside, man. Go outside.
Yeah, bro.
Go outside.
See free fire too.
Touch grass.
Tomorrow go to church, bro.
And I had to follow Anne-Marie in order for me to be able to do a live stream with her on TikTok. And then after it, I was like, well, it's a bit awkward for me to just unfollow her.
Jevaney, a Muslim.
You know what I mean?
Ati?
He's Egyptian.
Zizi. Mimi ni mkato.
It's one of the ones where I follow no one except Anne-Marie, and everyone's like, oh, there's definitely something going on because that's the only person he follows. So yeah, the boys in the More Salmon video talked to me about it, and they were like, oh, why do you only follow Anne-Marie? And I was just like, I explained the situation, and I was like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm going to unfollow her, and I have. So now I don't follow anyone, and I'm going to keep it that way. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to follow anyone on TikTok, okay?
You remember me? Because when you walked into the costume, everyone was screaming, fuck KSI, and I was the only one jumping up and down singing Knock Logan Out. I was in the line.
You?
Yeah, and then during the press conference, Jake literally stared him in the eyes, and I flicked him off, and we just stared at each other for a while.
What the fuck? Oh, yeah! I saw you do that, bro. You're a fucking king.
Thank you.
Nice,
love your videos, bro.
No, I appreciate it, man.
All right, see ya.
No idea who it was. Still don't know who that was.
Bro, that's so mean, bro.
Isn't that a monkey?
Hello, Flash.
Ati?
What's going on? Oh, this was when
Wait.
I wonder why. Kinda in shape.
Acha nikuweke.
Anyway. What is this? What's going on? What is this soundtrack? Oh my god.
KS are finishing his show, but comes back out to Lamborghini.
Oh, of course. People were like booing. They were like, oh, wow. I came all this way from China to see KSI perform in Manchester, and you ain't done Lamborghini. What's the point? And then I come through like, what going? You thought I was...
T-boy has gone to bed. Should I go play Fortnite?
Stream, bruh. I'm here. Niko.
Bro, how am I in music? Hello? Bro, nani amenipeleka music bro? Ni T-boy bro. You're my holiday. Hii video yake sasa inanibo. Inibambi.
Vile na watch ni nini vile una stream na hiyo vile una stream. Naona hiyo picha
ati picha ya
Maz.
tunafaa kuiweka kama server profile picture.
Jo.
Okay, that's so mean bro.
It makes things so exciting for
People be like, who's this?
It wasn't just a dud round by any means last game.
Mtu ana edit vipi?
5 points isn't bad, but it really cut into their average of scoring about 50 points a game. As you can see, Peterbot still in first with total Elib sitting on 14, which is absolutely bonkers. He is just an elimination shot off any amount of plays. He's accountable for 42 points himself. That is really impressive. As you see, Acorn get a knockout confirmation on the Fable Taco in the feed.
For the first time, though, we're seeing him get pushed out a little early here from the collider, forced to the outskirts, having to give away all that center point loot that's so valuable for Acorn and Edgy, though.
Oh, yeah.
They were in 14th last game. They have slipped down so
Trying
far
to change
down
default profile, go to your user profile.
now fighting up against Golden here, and of course, Fable Taco.
Bro, ulikuwa sava ya OnlyFans leaks.
But they fight for some loot with and teams they won't push players back.
OnlyFans leaks.
Epic Striker Pump as well as a legendary combat shotgun. I believe there was a combat SMG. I believe there was another legendary weapon that he's going to gift over to
OnlyFans.
I mean, they're in prime position. Edgy.
What?
I was about to say he's going to do the smart thing and rotate back over to Acorn.
Sava nyingine hapo inaitwa LOL.
They're rolling up. But right now, our second place duo, they're getting pinched again. Clicks and Day were actually able to make the 3-2-1 work this time.
They managed to find them last time. This time,
sheesh, let's go. They've been killed. Number 2 have been killed by Kinaclix.
Goes down, Day goes down. Threats and Rise are seeing this all unfold outside, and they have an option to weigh in here, but they say no. We're not going to go
ahead. At least Kinade have killed important people.
It's not worth it. They back out, and just like that, we get to hop on over to another exciting fight of Scented and Cole. They open fire onto
najisikia nicheze Fortnite. Si uingie online tucheze bro.
Yes, for those of you who don't know, FaZe Walltaker 7 is FaZe Scented. The reason he goes by Walltaker is they play low ground all the time. He's generally the one trying to get up on the walls and set up Cole. With that being said, when you are one of the best players in your region, please rep your brand. Rep your name. Let us give you all the clout. When you throw your name up there, when you get the VR, we want to see FaZe Scented. We want to see your name. We want to be able to celebrate you. It makes it easy in that regard. We don't have to do any of the guesswork because we're going to swing on over to Man City Friends.
For the most part, our players this season done a great job.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the biggest
Miro early on.
Let me see. Oh my god.
Today, actively in the FNCS finals.
It's funny, bro.
But player 5 pops off here. He finds himself a nice little elimination. That's a much needed one for them. They still have just again a mountain to climb in front of them. Their journey's just beginning here on the standings. That edges them on up to 31. For Bizzle and Diego,
Bizzle have 7 points, bro. They're doing bad.
At the Sleepy Sound.
Sasa kina Baki watasemaje? Baki na kama nini?
Big statement out of the semifinals. They're picking up a win, and then of course the qualifiers where they continue to pick up wins, which was so impressive because we hadn't seen them before. But that is what the FNCS
there's this kid who was using it.
Another duo who is fighting in their first ever FNCS final, trying to make it through. Somebody who is no stranger to the finals. In fact, they got a couple of Acts of Champions videos.
I was playing with him, bro. So I kept killing him.
Dignitas, Miro, trying to find room
and then
space here.
He's actually
I feel like this
really
is the 4th time
humble.
we've had a pretty much center first zone. He's making all of these rotations.
He's very humble.
interesting, but also
Achana na
something
T-boy.
interesting to note, Monster. Take a peek at the top left.
T-boy is
One,
mean,
no
bro.
solo
He's
drivers
always
round
toxic,
two. This
clipping
is
me,
far
bro.
and away the lowest we have seen the player
Ingekuwa
total
T-boy,
this early
ingekuwa
on in the
T-boy.
game. So you can tell
Kelele.
NA's just settling in a little bit. They know where they can push, they know where they can fight, and we're starting to see some of these fights resolve a little bit quicker, a little more confidence coming on the teams who are playing really well. One of which being Avery and Monster. They're right there in the conversation.
Yeah, what we start to find is, teams kind of fine-tune their play style. So since this is a faster pace game, more action, you'll notice it's going to most likely be a slower pace game. It's almost like the teams that did a little too much say, alright, maybe I overextended, I'm going to play a little bit slower, and the ones that kind of found success try to continue to keep up that pace because they had success.
It's just YouTube.
It does determine a lot.
Fortnite, I mean, it's just Fortnite.
Ultimately, but you will find it's sort of like a tug of war.
You get Fortnite.
For Agers and Canada, again,
I've closed YouTube. Sawa, hiyo Discord haina shida. Sawa. Hii nimefunga. Na launch Fortnite. Umecheki Final Fantasy hapa, bro? Show you. Umeona? Chilling out. You're my holiday.
Ogwana Genshin Impact.
Ati game changer.
Genshin Impact.
You live under a rock.
You're my holiday. And na. Bro, me I want to make ratatouille. I see
like Jevaney. Nitwaje screen yako ya phone as in kuna vinye iko kuna part imekuwa zoomed in.
Saizi. Hello?
Nakusikia.
Na saizi iko vipi?
Tebu. Stream yako.
It's lagging, si ndio?
Lag iko sawa. Ni vile bado imekuwa positioned like on the top left.
Oh, let me check it out. Sijui nitafanyaje, bro. Mnione.
Inasuniache. Hapa.
Let me check now. Bado inaonyesha top left.
Jevaney the floor.
Natumia full phone.
Wow.
Niende kwa settings.
Unapulisha mtu huko.
And then
the game.
Restart the game.
Weka
ngoja. Hapa. And then display VP bro.
Boa, tá. Hiyo clip sijasahau bwana.
Wani ino?
Nakuangusha namba.
Niko 50 FPS bro. Unaona FPS?
Naona.
Kwani screen iko zoomed in vipi?
Onyesha hebu check.
Screenshot send on Discord.
Bro, this way.
Wewe una math bana.
Wow bro. The lag is real my guy.
There's no bus. Glass seats.
You're my holiday. Na 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 na.
Ito po
Jaleo. You know what I'm
sawa, bruh.
What?
You know what's wrong.
Phoenix.
Guys, unasema?
Unasema nini?
Sijui unasema nini? Niko 30 FPS bro.
Wacha nikushow.
Agaucho bota ameliwaje?
Gucci gang.
Yeah, that's how I expected.
Olha dos PT sabe? Madimo hapa.
I don't have enough cash. Driver.
Oh. Like Chrome.
Mbona amejileta?
Chrome ama your stuff.
What? Uko Chrome.
Niko OBS.
So OBS Chrome. Ama enda Google basi.
Ati Google.
Sana magai.
La Google basi.
Sawa, niko kwa browser yangu.
Fuck.
Niko kwa browser.
Kwa browser. Alafu search Razer Cortex.
You know what to
Message
you at work.
Yeah. What next?
Download.
Download
your Razer Cortex.
Nini?
Like in a boost naitwaje game
by micromanaging. I don't know what. Let me read about it.
Screen yako.
No micro, my guy.
Like obvious set obvious yako ndo yako
Ati ni set
yako juu kaa imekuwa ma Fortnite, naona tu Fortnite.
Let me hop off the game basi. Let's continue with FNCU. Looking for me, I'm sure clicks anashinda and is not dead.
I said there was 3 top 10 teams. There's 4 top 10 teams. Walkers and Scareberry just outside of it, right up above him. You saw Muzz and Avery there for a second. So this is their direct competition, who is currently sitting in 5th.
Aviv just picks up Cam Stout and Thatch. They will be knocked out. We have now seen 2nd, 7th, and I believe that was just 9th also being taken
first
out.
place is another team now.
Daylight on the top of the table as Walkers is below, Avery is below, right side of your screen. Action's going to happen, but Walkers with a monstrous shot. It should be enough. He's barely put him back above. If they're able to isolate Muzz, and they do, he gets taken down and Surge finish him off. That is a gift from above for them.
Not only that, they snatch 5th place directly from Muzz's hands there. They say, give me that. That's 3 more points to add to their elimination count this game here, and it's looking very, very good. Scarebear and Walkers are now effectively right above Avery here, and Avery needs to do a little bit more. He's going to ultimately have to come down and possibly take this fight here. No one's opening their boxes, and remember, the last team to do damage onto Avery was Walker, so they could be getting a free set of points right now. Just depends here. One more pick. Here it is, and down he goes. Will they get the placement points? I believe so. They might be recognizing that here shortly, and it should be Elims on top of Elims. Out comes the rotates, though. They pull half and half off, and everyone's starting to come on in now.
You can see the immediate rotation. Everybody wanting to pack in. You have a first place duo over there. We're going to jump on over to 4th place there. 145 above, so we don't have to worry about that. But Boga and Miro want to get going. They don't like being that far behind. They don't like playing catch-up. They like being able to enter the tournament management mode right now. The only players below, well, one more tick. I'm sorry, Chimp. Unfortunately, the purple lightning will take it out. Storm Surge turns off, and we're into our cascading placement points as we hit 25 duels remaining, and a whole bunch of players go down after that. Chimp to Quentin, who fishing, awful.
Yeah, definitely players fall, but rewarded to everyone else there in the game, and we have a new team poising themselves up for high ground as Polo and Shoni go down just on the outskirts there. Skittles and Users, however, are in a bit of a fight here, being pressured in by Peterbot and Byla. Cold and Scented also jump into this, so you have numbers 1 and 3 putting pressure into another team that could be jumping into that top 10. It's almost like it's going to favor this eastern or western side here for the teams that
they're playing 6 today and 6 tomorrow.
And you saw Cold pause for a second. You also see in the bottom right-hand corner that little white marker. That is Cold marking the edge of the safe zone. So there's no guesswork. You know exact path you need to go. You have a marker. Now we're going to turn on over Peterbot and Byla. They have so much more resources. And we talked about Peterbot has the drum shotgun. That was the enabler in game 1 and game 3. Can he make a difference? We see 12 below to only 11 below. So they're going to have a little bit to get going, and instead they're going to rotate with pad, which is key because they're in the air and they could possibly be taking shots. That's going to dictate them needing to take a fight soon as everyone else gets on their rotation.
Take a look. Booga jumps up here, trying to place that mid-ground alongside Miro. They actually land right on top of Peterbot and Byla. They might be fighting tight here. Meanwhile, on height, Haji and Subscript, they're going for it. They need a big win to put them back in it. Booga finds Elite. Death there. Down he goes as N-Pen falls as well. So already, Booga and Miro finally get their first set of eliminations here as they desperately needed it. But the chop comes through. High ground comes down. Luckily, Haji and Subscript reconnect there. Meanwhile, down here, a big fight.
They have to get the refresh here. We talked about them not having any extra resources, any extra shield. And actually, Scented just going to drop all of his stuff. He said, go on, my son, do what you do. And Cold says, I got you. I'll carry the torch. He finds a huge Refresh on the backside. That's a 4-point jump. Now he needs to cover. Tries to get the wall at it. Tries to find the pre-fire. He's not going to do it. We have second place on our top right. First place on the bottom right. Everyone else on the wide with Haji and Sunscript on the high ground. Cold.
I'm downloading.
Umedownload?
It's downloading.
Nice. Alafu ufanye comparison ya bila hiyo software na ukiwasha hiyo software.
Okay. I'll do it tomorrow. Oh my god.
And Rokin and Joji are picking up a bunch of Elims on the backside of the zone, but Bila and Peterbot aren't slowing down either. They just found a pair and are on to use it.
Like,
Scare Bear goes down. Scare Bear goes down. That means every single person who is on the front page has basically been taken out, except our leaders. What can they do wrong? No, I said that. Walkers is still up on his feet, trying to make the solo catch. Can he keep the story going?
He's got to be careful, though. He just face checked into Kanata and users who's right up above him. Shots come from below, though. It's Kanata. They're trying to pull them on down. Kanata is playing this one out by himself as well. He's going to go for the big pot here. Meanwhile, Aviv and Elite Gold have managed to go on their way back in. There's a solo.
Playing solo arena. You see this guy is playing right now EF and says, kill him to and grind.
But this is it. Brokane's on a map. He just has barely whatever Joji just...
like they actually play a lot, bro. Creative, what? Kinaclicks, they don't do that anymore.
Might just really rack up here. There's one opportunity down those walkers in third. 5-5. Another set goes for them. That's 6 elims now.
Violent needs to work back to Peterbot. Peterbot is the one with the heals. You see him taking the block. Huge shot onto Rokane there. And Peterbot dropped his drum shotgun. He says, Sundown, what you know what with the striker? And he finds one but doesn't get the confirmation as Joji and Rokane try and throw a little bit there behind him. They've been on the high ground the whole time.
Now down they come. Joji here just edging his way out. Haji is making what he can with this little zone here. He's just trying to edge his way all the way around the side. It's a 2v1 situation here. Aviv has managed to make it this far. Sunscript and Haji, however, are now officially out of material. Aviv, what can you do as now Haji jumps into that box? Sunscript plays it smart. He backs on out. There goes the big shot. And just like that, they put themselves on the board. Nice little victory out for Sunscript and Haji.
Yeah, great high ground control from them. They weren't tempted to drop down. They didn't want to look at the eliminations. They saw all the fracas and the chaos that was going down out there, and they're like, all right, we'll take the dub. It's free, right?
And a big opportunity now for Aviv, who jumps on into number 3 there, a top 3 position for him. Haji and Sunscript, congrats on a Game 5 win. Big game for you guys to put y'all selves on the bubble here, but it is our teams like Walkers and Scare Bear who's still alive there, Kanata and Agers who are now up at the top, and we had a couple upsets though, some big fallings too.
And the one
Kinaclicks, man,
hasn't been falling. He's been playing out of their absolute freaking mind from start to finish. Only one poor game. Peterbot and Bila, they're starting to look around behind them and being like, is there really that much distance? We got to figure out what the distance is. We'll send it on over. Adam Vivid SBG, let us know, man.
I think at this point, Sundown, I think Peterbot and Bila has ordered themselves a celebratory cake. I think it's looking really good. It's looking really strong right now. Because it seems like a lot of the other teams just aren't keeping up. They continuously get themselves into the end zone and score points. The leaderboard is going to be very exciting. But let's focus on some other teams for a second here. We have a new team who have made it all the way. Sunscript and Haji get the Victory Royale. Now, SBG, this is a team I saw there at 26th position there at the end of that with 68 points, which shows us that they haven't had the best 4 games going into this, but suddenly they propel themselves up and give themselves a good opportunity going into day 2 tomorrow with only 1 game left today.
Yeah, this shows how good every team is. Given the opportunity, they will make and take plays to win games. It is that close between everyone, but everyone is close besides our top team. We see Peterbot and Bila once again. This is absurd. They saw Aqua and Vino. They're like, hold my slurp juice. I'm going to one-up you guys. I'm getting more points. And we have one more game still to go. It is crazy to see them just absolutely take over this lobby, because I honestly didn't think this was going to be possible for anyone to do in the region. And it is awesome to watch.
I mean, the most notable thing there is that we actually saw them finish the game on the low ground, right? We have seen them play the mid ground. We see them up on height. We've seen them win games, but now we're seeing them on the low ground. I think that's honestly been the story of NA East. We talk about this time and time again between teams. It's like, well, this team could play this play style, mid ground, low ground, high ground. It's like these teams are evolving as this competition goes on, and they are very ready to play any play style that is handed to them. Shout out to Peterbot and Violet putting on a clinic and